Welcome everybody to the Mid-Level Media channel. I am Ken here tonight for a very special live Q&A with my very special guest, AJ Reacts 2. How are you doing tonight, AJ?
I'm good,
Doing
man.
okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm great. I'm ready to get into these questions. Thank you for having me. I think this is the first time that I'm on your YouTube channel. We did some stuff in the past on Instagram, but I think this is the first time on your YouTube channel. So thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, man. This is the first time. So we did, I think, how many live streams on Instagram we do? Like two or three, maybe?
I think maybe like two, maybe
yeah,
three.
I think it was two. I think the first one we did was the horror Q&A, and that was the one I lost that I don't have anymore. And then I was like, I got to get you back so I can actually save it to Instagram. And then we had a Kubrick talk. We talked about Stanley Kubrick for an hour, like I made you suffer through 4 of his films. Well, I don't know about suffered, but I don't know if
not completely
your every expectation. But yeah, I been trying to get this StreamYards thing worked out. I got a new computer, so I was like, one of the first people I need to have on my channel is AJ, because I've already been on your channel a couple times.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's cool to have you on, man. I got some stuff to talk about, but how I usually like to start these things is just talking about some of the stuff that we've been watching recently. Like, what have you been watching? What have you been enjoying? You've been watching some cool TV shows, movies. What have you been playing? You've been playing any video games?
Lately, I just finished The New Adventures of Old Christine. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
When that come out, like early 2000s?
It was
somewhere in like
it was
mid 2000s.
I think it was like 2006, but I know it ended in 2010. So yeah, and
what's that available on? Is that on?
It's
like
on
Hulu
HBO Max.
Or?
That's the reason why I checked it out, because I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I do too. All the way back to Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen that one, but I did watch her in Seinfeld and
Please tell me, do you have that scheduled for your Christmas first time watch?
I don't, but I can add it to a list.
It can just be an extra.
Yeah, it could be extra. Yeah, because I'm halfway done with my 100 movies list, so
you are plowing through that.
I'll have time.
And that's one of the things I want to talk about with you tonight too, is just like first time watches and stuff. And I actually have your Instagram up here, and I was going to pull it up and just kind of react to some of your opinions and stuff on reviews. Because I enjoy, reading your reviews and stuff and all your first time watches. And first time watches are interesting. A lot. Those are the big thing right now. A lot of people are doing those on YouTube,
especially like the classics that that people know and love, and like, oh, I haven't seen that one, I'm gonna watch it for the first time. So those
and then you put it up, and they're like, you haven't seen that? I can't believe you haven't seen that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, but I have no room to talk. There's so many movies that I haven't seen that when I say the same thing, they're like, what? You haven't seen that? It's ridiculous. But I look at it as a positive, because I have so many experiences that I still get to experience.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah.
But what you've been watching WandaVision? What are your thoughts on WandaVision? I haven't heard of it yet. Did you enjoy it?
I did. Okay, I did. I after I watched the finale, I was really torn. I was on the fence, and I was just like, there was a lot of things that I didn't care for about the finale, but like there were a lot of elements that I enjoyed too. So I was just so torn. And then, I hopped on some lives and did some spoiler talk and things like that. And
just to let everybody know, me and you were on a live stream yesterday talking about WandaVision. So that's why I was kind of joking, but you can also give your thoughts. I went into that live stream like fairly positive on the show, and I came out thinking, maybe the show wasn't so good.
Maybe it was trash. No, it wasn't.
Kind of shit.
It wasn't trash. I will say that. And I think I kind of, when I actually sat down and did a review and recorded a review today, and in retrospect, it was decent. It was more decent than I was left with after the finale. Like right after the finale, I had like a bad taste in my mouth, talked about it, and the finale just wasn't for me. And then, I got to thinking about the older episodes, like the episode 1, 2, and 3, the setup, the arc, and everything like that. So it was decent. It was a lot more decent than I led on in my past reviews. I would say if I had to give it a grade, I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's close to where I was. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 when I did my written review yesterday. And I stand by that. I thought it was a good show. I was definitely more excited for it when we were like right in the middle of it. I would say like 4, 5, and 6 was the ones that really popped for me and got me excited to kind of come back and watch it. And then it was something about that Agatha reveal at the end of episode 7. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I thought the theme song was catchy as hell. But
I was going to ask you about that.
It just felt so basic. It was like, I knew it was going to happen. It's like, okay, so she's the one that did everything. Wanda's not even in power here. And they kind of backtracked on that the next episode. But I thought she created the hex and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it was a little unclear. And I get where you're coming from with that. And I was a lot more let down after I realized they didn't give her depth when she was really one-dimensional. Like, I could accept that she was behind a lot of different things, and that reveal was kind of cool to me. But like the fact that she didn't have a plan after she got the chaos magic from, this is spoiler territory. Sorry if anybody hasn't seen WandaVision. But
it's fine. Most people seen WandaVision. I usually talk about it on my Sunday stream, but
they usually do. Yeah. But like the fact that they didn't, give her any plan after she got the chaos magic, like why do you want this magic? Why do you want the power for? We know that you want it, but why? So it was just kind of like sloppily written, and it kind of made me feel like it was like just a lot of fluff around the origin of Scarlet Witch. Even though, like I said in the spoiler talk yesterday, like I enjoyed some of the fluff, the production quality of the sitcoms and like the wardrobe and stuff was awesome. Yeah. But it kind of made me feel like, are they just like giving us something? Like,
it kind of baited us in and baited me into thinking that the show was going to be more than what it actually ended up being.
Yeah.
I thought it was really smart, like heading into 5 and 6. And, it's funny because when we first started the show, like episode 1, 2, and 3, I'm like, are they just going to do this whole sitcom thing the whole time? Is that just going to be what the show is? If so, like I was on board for it. I was like, just a cool kind of going through the different time periods with Wanda and Vision as sitcom characters with a little bit of intrigue, mystery here and there. And then they do some kind of big reveal at the end. I didn't expect it to get as big as it did so quickly. But when they kind of open things up and let you know what was really going on in episode 4, that's when I was kind of like, this is kind of interesting. Like I liked episode 4 a lot. I liked the whole introduction of Monica Rambeau and her whole story, and how they really didn't have Wanda and Vision in that. And they kind of backtracked and did the whole Tarantino thing where they show you another perspective of the story. And then they get back to where we were from the beginning. So yeah, I like that whole run of 4, 5, and 6 were probably my 3 favorite episodes, to be honest. Okay. So
4, 5, and 6, like right there in the middle.
Yeah, I would say top 3 episodes probably like 5, 4, and 6. I would say those are like my top 3 episodes right there. Okay. And I know everybody loved 8. You loved 8 too.
I loved 8. I know you didn't care for it.
It's not that I didn't care for it. I loved it from an acting perspective. It's just something about it felt so. I've watched so many shows recently. I don't know if you've seen The Morning Show, and you said that you just started watching The Servant.
I did start watching The Servant.
The Servant, there's a few shows that have done this recently, but you get to that episode that's right before the finale, and they go back and they tell you like it's like a exposition episode. They go back and they tell you the whole story and the events that led up to that. And it just reminded me of every other show that I've seen on television.
You felt it was a little
and that's
cliche.
Not what that show was before then.
You felt it was a little cliche.
I did like some of the character moments in it though. A little bit, yes. But let's look at the chat here because we do have some people in here right now. Tony Movie Chappie is here. He said thoughts on Pepe Le Pew from Looney Tunes being canceled by cancel culture. Did you hear about this?
I heard about that, but I don't really know why. Maybe just because he's like flirtatious, or I don't really know why they cut him. But I heard that his scene was already shot. Yeah, I guess. But I heard his scene was already shot. Yeah, the new Space Jam. The new Space Jam movie with LeBron, and I heard that his scene was already shot and everything, but they cut it out. So I don't know if it was because of, I don't know what it was because. So if somebody can tell us in the chat why, do you know why?
I have no idea. I mean, I can look it up, but it's I don't know. It sounds kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But
I mean, I like Pepe Le Pew. I was kind of looking. I mean, not really looking forward to him.
I mean, he did come on a little bit too strong. If I remember, for what I was a kid.
Yeah,
but you know, I don't know how
he's a
you feel
beloved
on
character.
it, but I'm not a huge fan of like going back in the past and just like picking out all these moments. And you know, I don't know, it seems kind of silly, especially when it's something as silly as a cartoon character from Looney Tunes. But
yeah, are you gonna watch the new Space Jam?
You know,
just watch it for your kids?
I remember Space Jam coming out when I was in middle school. So I was like right in that age range when it came out, and I wasn't a fan of it then. Like I watched it one time and I thought it was okay. I don't know. I've never really gravitated towards it. Maybe I knew like tons of kids in my grades loved the movie. But it was never really like my jam back in the day. If we're going like animation and live action mixed, I was a much bigger fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, I know that's your movie.
That's my movie right there. But Space Jam, I've only seen it once. I'm willing to watch it again. I mean, it's got Bill Murray in it, so it's got to be pretty good, right?
Right.
And then, I'll definitely watch it. It's on HBO Max. I watched freaking Tom and Jerry, and that was the biggest piece of trash that I've seen all year.
I didn't hate Tom and Jerry though. Like I didn't love it. I definitely didn't love it, but I didn't think it was the worst. The
clear sign to me that it's not even a good kids movie is I watched it with my kids and they were bored.
I heard that some kids liked it though. I heard
they might have,
but I don't know.
They might have. It was
It's nothing that I will watch again. I promise you that.
yeah. It reminded me like Alvin and the Chipmunks or something. It's I mean, it was harmless. It was harmless. It wasn't like the worst thing in the world, but it just, I don't know. I fell asleep and I just couldn't stay awake when I was watching it. But what should I buy? OLED or LED TV? Buy an LED TV.
LED.
Yeah, I would suggest that. Patrick Coran is here. He says hello. And right here, somebody's commented before we went live. Oh, yeah. Going to be a good one. I can't wait. That is Unwrap the Movies. You got Stranger Boy in here. He says hello. What is up? Patrick Coran says hello. Night Watch Zone says, hey, everyone. Wanted to stop by and say hi. Well, I appreciate you coming by and saying hey. We got Phil's Creepy Videos. And I don't know if you know Phil, but he's a big horror fan. And he comes into every single one of my live streams and he says, hey there, horror fans. It's your buddy Phil here. Every time. But I actually got him to, stick around for a little bit the other night because we were talking horror. But yeah, he's got a great channel. Great dude, though. David's Horror here. He says, hey, everyone. Hey, Night Watch. Hey, Phil. Everybody's saying hey to each other. Phil's Creepy Videos. Stream is liked and shared by me. Appreciate it, Phil.
Sweet.
Definitely appreciate that. Blockbuster Bob said, favorite Argento movie. So are you big into the Dario Argento movies?
I'm not sure what that is, actually.
So Dario Argento is an Italian filmmaker from the 70s and 80s, I would say, when his big run was, some in the 60s. Okay. He made films called giallos, which are basically like, it was kind of like the precursor to slasher films. So I would say like Halloween kind of took inspiration from some of those giallo films that he did. But he did Suspiria. You've heard of Suspiria, right?
That's on my list, actually.
Is that on your list for this year?
It is.
I can't wait for you to watch that. I thought I got you to watch that last year. Was it not last year? Around Halloween time that you watched that?
No, it was. You got me to watch The Wicker Man. I think you got me to watch something else too.
The Wicker Man. Yeah. It's I love The Wicker Man. Not the Nicolas Cage one, of course, but the 1977 one. That's the one that Midsummer wishes it could be. But he also did a movie called Tenebrae that I love. Like, that's one of my favorite slasher movies. And
I heard you talk about it.
Deep Red is another one that's really good. But the other two was that I watched because I've only seen 5. He's got like 20 movies. So there's still some other ones I got to dive into. I'm still in the very early stages of Dario Argento. But he did a movie with Jennifer Connelly in it. And that was like one of her first movies. And it was called Phenomenon.
Yeah.
And it has Donald Pleasance in it. And she has psychic powers, and she can communicate with bugs, basically. And she uses their communication with insects and bugs to help solve murders. And it's an interesting movie, but I actually didn't love it. So
I just looked it up on IMDb. Okay, I'm gonna add it to my list. And
as for my favorites,
it's on Amazon Prime. So if anybody
I think I watched it on Amazon Prime like a couple of years ago. So the other one was Opera, and I wasn't a huge fan of Opera either. So as far as my favorite Argento movie, I would say top 3 is Tenebrae is my favorite. Then Suspiria. Suspiria is a visually stunning film, probably one of the most visually stunning films I've ever seen. Looks great in 4K. The score in it's probably my favorite horror score. As for the movie itself, I don't think it's the best movie. I don't think it's the best script. I don't think it has the best dialogue or acting or anything. But Tenebrae is great. I love that one. So I'd put Suspiria second, and then I'd go Deep Red third. So
cool.
Let's see. Michelle Fetter said, "Dang, you looking good." And that white, that's my wife. Right
I was like, I hope that's your wife. You might be in trouble.
She's going to be very upset watching the replay to this. Night Watch Zone says, "Are you guys going to watch the Snyder Cut?" Of course, I'm going to watch the Snyder Cut. How excited are you for the Snyder Cut on a scale of 1 to 10? Because I want to see where you're kind of at with that.
I'm moderately excited. I would probably say like a 7, like 6, 7 around there, 6, 7. I'm not gung ho for it, but
okay.
It should be cool.
I mean I'm probably like a 5 or a 6. I'm just not. I didn't like Justice League, and I really don't understand how he's going to make it that much better by adding 2 hours of additional footage. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I mentioned that in one of my videos, and I got shredded. I got torn apart.
I mean, the Snyder
fandom
is like no other. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Man of Steel. Like that is one of my favorite comic book movies ever. Like that's the one that makes me actually like Superman. Like I didn't love the Christopher Reeves movie. I've only seen the first one, and like a little bit of the second one. So when you're talking about Superman, like I'm a Henry Cavill guy. Like that's my Superman to me. So and I just love that movie so much. The score in that movie is like probably top 5 scores to me. Like it gets me hyped like no other. Back in the pre-COVID days when I actually used to go work out in the gym and stuff and run on the treadmill. That was the song the music that would get me hyped is that and the Creed score as well. Let's see, but I'm gonna watch it for sure.
I'm gonna watch it too.
We're gonna talk about it on some shows here and there probably. So we gotta watch the Snyder Cut. I gotta say I don't know, 4 hours is going to be a chore.
I'm actually gonna probably split it up because there's chapters. There's like 6 chapters in the film.
Well, when is it coming? It's supposed to come out on March the 18th, right? And that's a Thursday.
Is it the 18th? I think it's
because I looked it up on Google the other day because I was like, when is this coming out? Because I couldn't remember, and it said the 18th, and that's a Thursday. So why are they're dropping it on a Thursday, and it's gonna be the whole thing at once? Because I thought it was supposed to be like chapters.
It was. It was supposed to be episodes. It was supposed to be 4-part hour episodes. And they decided against it. They said we're gonna just put it all out. And yesterday, actually on HBO Max, there was a glitch that if you played the Tom and Jerry movie, Snyder Cut played instead.
Really?
Yes.
I heard about a leak, but I didn't know it was that kind of leak. I thought it was like some kind of online thing. I didn't know it was actually on HBO Max.
It was on HBO Max, and like apparently after like 10 minutes in, it cut off. But that was pretty funny to me. But I guess it's gonna get an R rating, and it says March 18th. So I don't know.
Kids looking to watch Tom and Jerry, and they turn it on, and it's the Dark Snyder universe.
Right.
You just get fucking Jared Leto's Joker popping out. Have Cheetah Will Views in here. It's first time seeing that name in the chat. It says greetings. What is up? HNS Collectibles. Hey Patrick. Leave Dr. Seuss alone. What didn't Dr. Seuss himself actually get canceled recently? Wasn't that a thing?
And a lot of the books or something got canceled. I don't really know the details of it.
I guess I can't watch Cat in the Hat anymore.
Nope.
I'm gonna have to throw my green eggs and ham away. Phil's creepy video says, "What's up to all who I invited?" Phil is a great guy. He led me here. Awesome, man.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Let's see. HNS Collectibles says, "Hey, Phil, Foxy Lady in lockdown. Hi, Phil. Cheers for the invite, man. I got all kinds of people here by way of Phil. Creepy video. So ask away, guys. Ask your questions, horror questions, action questions, whatever you guys want to ask.
Sure.
Hey, Phil, we're here and connected with Blockbuster Bob. Who is Blockbuster Bob? I
Is
have
he in
no
the
idea
chat?
who that
I
is.
haven't seen him in the chat.
All right, let's see here. Don't know if I got any questions. Thank you for answering my questions, guys. I think he asked the Argento question.
Mm-hmm.
I think he asked the Argento question. David's Horror says, I liked Man of Steel. Hans Zimmer score was great. Yeah, that's like all-time score for me. I love it. That's my favorite Hans Zimmer score. I know a lot of people love the Dark Knight score, and I do too, but it was just like next level that night with the Man of Steel score. Talking Cobra Kai is here. He says,
sweet.
What's up? What's up, Talking Cobra Kai? Everybody's saying hi to Cobra in the chat. Paul Phoenix says The Invitation. That's a great movie. I don't know if he's talking about the movie, but have you seen The Invitation?
No, and my cousin was actually telling me about that movie on Sunday. And yeah, I haven't seen it, and I plan on watching it. I know it's a little slow moving, like a little slow pace, slow burn, but I'm cool with those kind of movies. But yeah,
it's a very slow pace. It's
seen.
got who is that guy's name? He played Twisty the Clown in American Horror Story. I don't know if you ever watched that show.
Oh yeah,
he plays a lot of creepy roles.
I'm an American Horror Story fan.
I can't think of his name, but he's in it and he's creepy in it. And it's got the guy from Upgrade, Logan Marshall Green. You know who that is?
Yes,
he's the lead character.
Okay,
and yeah, it's a really suspenseful movie that goes into some batshit nuts places.
Is it similar to Your Next?
No.
Okay.
No, I would say not. Your Next is a full-on like action home invasion slasher horror movie. The Invitation really takes its time. It gets to some more actiony moments towards the end. I would say maybe like the last 15, 20 minutes, but it's a very moody, atmospheric film up until that point. It's kind of plays more like a mystery, kind of like a murder mystery type movie, like it's a dinner party. And yeah, there's a lot of like mystery and intrigue in there, suspense and stuff.
Sweet.
It's a good movie. I think it's still on Netflix. That's when I first watched it.
Okay.
Let's see. Talking Cobra Kai says, hey, Creepies, Phil's videos. Blockbuster Bob said, Invitation is a great movie. Really good slow burn with a big payoff. Yeah, the payoff is nuts in that movie. Especially like right at the very end. Paul Phoenix says, love Your Next. Yeah, that is a great one.
I feel like it's a gem that's kind of not even, talked about much. I don't know. Do you guys talk about it a lot in the horror community?
Yeah, it comes up a lot of people's like favorites list. I would say it's still underrated though, I think, because it's not like super mainstream.
Yeah.
But yeah, it came out in 2013. I actually posted about it last night because I put the International Women's Day post before I went to bed, and I had like Sarah Connor and Ripley.
I saw that.
I forget who else I put, but Uma Thurman, and then I put the girl from Your Next because she's freaking badass in that movie.
Yeah,
and her name's like Sharni Vincent, and she hasn't been literally nothing else. She was in a couple like straight to DVD movies. I don't know if she doesn't like acting or whatever, but
I'd love to see
her. She is so freaking good. In that movie, it's so badass. And just like the turn she has in that movie, like when they discover that they're being infiltrated or invaded or whatever, and she just like how she just goes right into the full on like protection mode and starts boarding up the windows. It's so badass.
It gives me like Ready or Not vibes too.
Definitely. Ready or Not took a ton of inspiration from that film, I think. I didn't like Ready or Not as much though. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movie. I liked it. That. I just didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit more goofier in tone too. I think it was supposed to be a little bit more satirical.
It had a lot of like comical beats to it.
Yep. Yeah, but that ending though is pretty
it was insane.
Crazy.
that ending was insane, and I wasn't expecting it either. I really wasn't.
Yeah.
I was in the
it did make me like the movie a little bit more though when it had that ending.
Me too.
Talking Cobra Kai says, do you think Black Widow well, I think I missed another one. This is a cult recruiting stream. Watch out for the hidden messages. Talking Cobra Kai. Do you think Black Widow will continue to get delayed, or will they release it on Disney Plus? I think that they're probably going to wait and see how Raya does, and I think that they're going to make a decision on that pretty soon, actually. I think that we could see Black Widow at least in June or July. I don't know. Do you think they'll delay it all the way till November?
Hard to say. I really don't care about Black Widow at this point. It just got it got delayed.
In the past,
it's so like it was supposed to come out last year. It got delayed so many times. I mean, I don't know when it's gonna come out. I'll watch it when it comes out, but I'm not. My anticipation level is like way low for it now.
Well, just kind of going off of that, do you feel your anticipation for not only Black Widow, but like all the other movies that we were supposed to get last year, do you feel like that's lesser than it was a year ago?
Certainly. No Time to Die.
You would think that it might be higher because you're having to wait for longer and it maybe has more time to build, but then it gets to the point where you're probably just going to watch it on your couch.
Well, the thing is, the thing is like that didn't bother me watching it on my couch, but like it
doesn't me anymore either, and that's what scares me. It doesn't bother me anymore.
Right, it doesn't bother me.
I don't like it.
Yeah, like I want to see him in the theaters, but if I don't get to, it's whatever. I know that's kind of how it is right now. But like when it got delayed the first time, I was like, okay, and it kind of raised my anticipation level. Okay, it got delayed again. Okay, and I think it got delayed again and a fourth time. I don't remember how many times it got delayed because so many movies have gotten delayed so many times. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, it'll come out when it comes out. I don't really care.
Yeah, it's it was that and No Time to Die they both like keep shifting from like May to November to May to November, like that. They don't ever want to seem to go off of that path. So,
and they don't want to drop it on streaming. So,
I mean, A Quiet Place 2 just got a solid release date, I think, at the end of May. And I don't do you know much about that? Are they going to put that on Paramount
Plus? I believe.
So that's going to be on Paramount Plus premium price.
I think it might come with the subscription. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm subscribing to Paramount Plus.
They've been trying to like hook people in with Paramount Plus, and nothing that I have seen really got me. Like why are they advertising SpongeBob and a new Rugrats for Paramount Plus? That's not going to make me want to subscribe to your streaming service. But then they announced Quiet Place 2, and they announced Mission Impossible 7 and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, maybe. And then like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know if you're into that at all, but they announced. They announced like Avatar: The Last Airbender is like coming out with like movies, original content, a continuation of the original series and stuff like that. So it's got me interested. Nonetheless,
I would say just to answer your question, I think it'll probably be delayed one more time, and I think that they'll probably end up releasing it around, I don't know, I think August, maybe at least August. I think we'll see it before August.
You think do you think it's gonna be a simultaneous release like Raya?
Yes, I think they'll do the exact same thing. I don't think they're going to do another thing like they did with Mulan. Or was Mulan in theaters too?
Mulan was not in theaters.
That was just Disney Plus. I didn't even know Raya was theaters until I seen people posting about going to the theaters. I thought that was I didn't even know that was a premium price until I got on Disney Plus Friday night, and I was like, what? I got to pay $30 for this? Because I was still in the mindset of Soul, because they gave us Soul on Christmas.
Yeah, they gave us Soul on Christmas, no extra price. And then they gave us Raya for $30, and it just doesn't. I don't understand. Yeah, I feel like
Soul
Disney
was more anticipated than.
Yeah, and it's Pixar, and like I don't know.
I think they were just being nice. It was Christmas,
Yeah, giving us
a nice
thing
Christmas to do. I appreciated it. I appreciated that and Wonder Woman coming out that weekend, even though Wonder Woman didn't necessarily live up to my expectations, but it was cool to have it. Eddie S is here. He said, "What up, guys? Just subscribed to AJ today. Awesome.
Thank you, Eddie.
Awesome. So you got to see that awesome trailer reaction that you did today of the Melissa McCarthy
Thunder Force.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Netflix is really like sneaky with their movies sometimes. So just like drop a trailer and be like, "What the hell is this?" I'm sure somebody knows about it, but
that's what I said. But I feel like more people are like on my side with the film. I didn't know if people were gonna like that trailer or not, so I was just kind of like treading lightly. But I was
just like a generic.
This is terrible. Yeah. Like, why? Yeah, it looks like a Nickelodeon, Disney Channel type movie, but it looks like it could be fun for families, stuff like that. But I don't know.
It looked like a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
It looked like a Netflix. Where are you at with like Netflix so far this year? Have you really liked anything that's come on Netflix?
I actually liked Malcolm and Marie a lot. I know a lot of people had complaints
I didn't
about
hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I think that was one of those movies that everybody started trashing on, and it kind of came out of nowhere. And I was like, where's this coming from? This seems like a movie that ordinarily every single person in the cinephile community would just be falling over themselves for.
Yeah, I don't know.
But everybody was like hating on that movie. And I'm like, I understand that my biggest gripe with it was like, I'm married, so I know what it's like to just have an argument with your spouse for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So it's like watching that for 2 hours got a little bit draining and not very enjoyable at times. But other than that, like, I mean, I thought it was a solid script. I thought it had solid performances and or great performances, actually. I thought they were both really great in the movie. Cinematography, and I'm a sucker for black and white movies too. So
yeah. You like Roma?
I liked Roma a lot. I loved Roma. That was one of my top 10 that year. That was a movie that just blew me away. I expected to be bored the entire time I watched it. And it just completely captivating. Like by the end, like that was one of those movies like got me like with the last scene at the beach, and it was like I was like teary eyed and stuff.
Me too.
I was like, oh, they're accepting her as family. Yeah, and then of course the very strange scene in that movie of the guy doing the naked
yeah, he was like, I don't know, doing some Ninja Turtle stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, direction-wise, I mean, it's incredible that Alfonso Cuarón like directed, did the cinematography, wrote, like he did everything.
And it was kind of loosely based on his childhood. So
yeah, I thought it was excellent. I got the Criterion last year. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but
dope.
Paul Phoenix says, I like Harry Gregson Williams. I don't know who that is.
Not exactly sure who that is.
I don't know who that is. Blockbuster Bob says, Invitation is a great movie, really good slow burn with a big payoff. Yeah, I would say so. I would say it's a pretty big payoff. Phil's Creepy Video says, the messages are everywhere. And we got some Illuminati in the chat. Something's going on. Paul Phoenix says, love your next. Taki Cobra Kai says, favorite 80s movie. Man, that is tough. That is tough, but
honestly, I would probably say Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom. You're one of those.
I'm one of those.
You're one of the Temple of the Dooms. I can't say anything about Indiana Jones because like I barely remember him. I only seen him once. I watched him in high school. Haven't seen him since. So I'm gonna rewatch him again because it'll honestly be like a first time watch. But
I know
there are a lot of people that love Temple of Doom though. It's one of the ones that people call out.
And yeah, some of the folks are with me in saying that it's the best one. But most people say Raiders. A lot of people love Last Crusade. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, we don't really talk about.
See, that's funny because I think I saw that movie on my honeymoon. I'm sorry. We were in Florida, and I think we were at like one of the Disney parks or something. And we went to the theater and we saw Crystal Skull. I think I remember that correctly. It was around it was 2008 that movie came out. Okay. My favorite 80s movie is probably
what real quick. On my honeymoon, we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. So pretty equivalent.
So we're about 10 years apart on our marriages.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was fine. That was fine. It was a good post-credit scene.
It was a good Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was just but anyway, go ahead with the 80s movies.
So I mean, all three of my top three movies of all time are in the 80s. So Empire Strikes Back is 1980. That's my favorite movie of all time. And then you got E.T. 1982, and then you got Back to the Future 1985. So those are all three of my favorite movies of all times. All in the 80s. The 80s the best decade for movies. Sure.
I completely disagree.
It's the best. It's the best decade for horror movies. It's the best decade for movies. Period.
It's the worst decade for movies, in my opinion. But we're on
worst.
Yes. Oh, completely different.
Oh, I'd have to think about it actually for like overall movies. I know it's the best for horror. Like I know that for a fact.
Okay.
For overall movies, I might have to reevaluate some things. But let's see. Phil Scrubby Video says Arrow Kill. Ty West is in your next. Yeah, he is. I remember him. Patrick Rance, I just watched a good horror film last night. It was called The Mind's Eye. It was pretty gory. Is that a new horror film, Patrick? I have not heard of that one.
Mind's Eye. Kind of sounds a little familiar, but I don't know.
Paul Phoenix says Ready or Not is great too.
It is.
So he is a fan. Talking Cobra Kai said, do you think the Snyder Cut will end up being disappointing?
Yes.
Not to the people that are already in it and anticipating it, and the Snyder cult, as they call them. It will not disappoint them. They will think it's the greatest thing ever, 10 out of 10.
No matter how it comes out.
For me, to be honest, I would have to have like any kind of good expectations of it at all to be disappointed. So it probably won't be too disappointing because I don't really think it's going to be that good anyway. So I
do think it's going to be disappointing, but I could be wrong.
Yep. You could be.
I could be.
You could be wrong. It could be great. It could be a 10 out of 10.
It could be a 10 out of 10. It could be a masterpiece. 20, 30 years from now, we'll be talking about it.
I haven't seen, I still haven't seen Batman v Superman, the ultimate cut. So I don't know what Zack Snyder can do when he recuts and rechops his movies up. Mitchell, a movie man series, says, haven't seen Ready or Not yet. You guys need to get on the Ready or Not train. It was actually a pretty solid movie. I saw that movie and the Peanut Butter Falcon in the same day back when I used to go to the theater when my kids were in school. And sometimes I would do double features in the middle of the day. So I remember that pretty vividly, seeing both of those. And Peanut Butter Falcon's a great film. It was a good day. I like Ready or Not, and The Hunt was good too. The Hunt was it was pretty good. I like The Hunt. I didn't enjoy paying $20 for it, but back then I was doing anything to watch a new movie. So
was that you saw it on VOD? You watched it on VOD?
I saw it on VOD because they had just released it in theaters, and then the world went to shit. It was that and Bloodshot in the same weekend. I didn't get out to the theaters to see either one. And I saw The Way Back, I think, next Tuesday because I had to catch up. That was the last movie that I saw in theaters before I went back over the summer and saw New Mutants, and that was a horrible experience too. The Dark and the Wicked is fantastic. I still need to watch that. I have that in my on my to-do list. A lot of people are saying that's a Hereditary type horror movie. It's been getting some pretty good reviews. Tony's movie Chappie, D9, Neil Blomkamp, #1 fan, said, Ken, what is a movie that you like watching a lot with your wife and kids? I'll say Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We still watch that every now and then. That's one of our favorite movies to watch together. That was one of my best theatrical experiences because I took my whole family, my 5-year-old daughter at the time, my 8-year-old son, my wife, me, all in the theaters just flipping out over this movie. And all of us came out of it and saying that was like one of the best movies we've ever seen. So I love that movie. Yeah, it's a great experience. Like sometimes your enjoyment of a movie can really rely on just like the experience and like the time and place and where you're at in your life.
True.
And that's one I'll always remember as being like a really important movie to me. But is there a movie that you enjoy watching with your wife? I don't think you have any kids, do you?
I don't.
I could be wrong. You could have a couple hiding back
there.
No,
definitely no, I don't. But yeah, a movie that's
just like your all's movie.
Yeah, there's a movie that I watch all the time. And she catches it and she like wonders why I'm watching it, but she'll sit there and watch it too with me. It's What Happens in Vegas, starring Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz. And I don't know why I watch this movie so often. I couldn't tell you, but I watch it all the time, like at least once a month. And
once a month
at least. And she'll sit there and she'll quote it too, but she's like, why are we watching this again? But you're married to me. You gotta.
What Happens in Vegas? I've never seen that one.
Yeah, you're not missing a whole lot.
I don't think I've seen that one. Ashton Kutcher had a run of those rom-coms, I think, in the 2000s. He didn't have one like called My Boss's Daughter or something with him and Tara Reid.
I think at one
point.
Like I think that one, and then No Strings Attached, and with
Natalie Portman. Yeah, I don't know if I saw that one either. But
yeah, we watched that one. I don't know if that's like our favorite one to watch together, but I have to think on that. But
David's Horror says No Time to Die and Halloween Kills being delayed were major letdowns. I was okay with Halloween Kills being delayed as long as they released it in October.
Yeah.
Now, if they had delayed it to come out in April, I would have been pissed off.
So let me ask you this. let me ask you this: if they delay it to next Halloween, which is not going to happen, they said it's going to happen this Halloween. But if they did delay it to next Halloween, how would you feel?
To next Halloween, I'd be okay. I'd be okay. You know, I waited for freaking 10 years for there to be a good Halloween movie again. Actually, I waited since what? When was the last good Halloween movie before Halloween 2018? Probably H2O was probably the one that was watchable. I mean, Rob Zombie Halloween movie were a complete mess and a failure. And Resurrection is not a good movie, even though I enjoy certain parts of Resurrection. I think it's a fun movie, but it's not a good one. And H2O I don't love, but I think that's just high enough to pass as a good Halloween film. So yeah, I waited that long. So sure, I can wait a couple more years. I mean, because really, you're not going to go anywhere else with the Halloween franchise after these three, so you might as well drag it out. It's not like the Marvel movies where you got to get your next one so they can get in production and get the universe moving along on all the other films. I've only got 3 Halloween films, so I might as well just drag it out and savor the Halloween flavor, you know.
You think they're going to be done after this trilogy?
For a while. I'd say for a while. I don't really know any other reason to. I mean, Michael Myers isn't really the kind of character to do a shared universe with.
It's money.
Yeah,
that's a reason.
Yeah, I guess you could be right. If they do another Michael Myers movie, I want it to be like a versus movie. I want them to do like freaking Michael Myers versus Jason. We need that. We need that to happen.
Michael Myers versus Jason.
We need Michael Myers. It'll be the most boring banter back and forth of any team. But I mean, it's no different than Godzilla versus King Kong. They can't talk to each other. So
I know. Well, no, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I want to see Michael Myers versus Jason, even if it's only like a short film or something. Patrick Coran says the new Paranormal Activity is going to be on Paramount Plus only. I have not heard that. I wonder when that's coming out. They could probably shoot that in like a weekend. So I'm sure they probably already got that shot and ready to go, but I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know. Are you down with the new Paranormal Activity movie?
I mean, it's I don't know. It's not that big of a deal to me.
It hasn't been that long since we got the last one.
I know. So. And I think, weren't there 4 of them?
6.
It was 6 of them?
There was 6 of them, yeah. See? I actually haven't seen the Ghost Dimension. That I didn't watch it. The last one I saw was the marked ones. That was number 5.
The marked ones. Is that the one where
the marked one's good? Is good
in Mexico? Or
yes.
Okay,
yes,
that's the last one.
That one's good.
That was the last one.
The fourth one's okay. And I think that the first 3, I've said it before, is like one of the best horror trilogies. If they would have just stopped there, that would be like one of my favorite horror trilogies of all time. Yeah, okay. I loved found footage movies. I don't love every movie being a found footage movie, but because like when they were all coming out in like the 2010s, like Paranormal Activity came out and then it was like a wave of them. Like every movie was found footage, but I love those movies. I love the story, and I love it's scary. Like those movies freak me out. And if I've seen so much horror in my lifetime that if you can create a horror story in a movie that actually scares me, then I love it. So those movies are freaking out.
I've only seen the first one and the marked ones. So
well, they really get deep into the story of it, and it's like there's like a family lineage. It's a lot like Hereditary, really. It reminds me a lot like Hereditary, just how they go back through the family, and like every movie like takes place before the other one, so they're like backtracking. The third one is awesome. That one takes place in the 80s, so they're using all of these like old 80s camcorders, so it has this really cool like aesthetic to it. Kind of like a retro kind of 80s aesthetic to it. Okay. And it has some of the best like moments in it. Like they put the camera on this oscillating fan that goes back and forth through the room. And you can see the ghost like sneak up behind somebody in one scene, and then it oscillates and comes back and it's gone. It's just some really good tension building moments in that movie. But
I have to watch the whole series, the entire series.
I would highly recommend watching the second and third one. And just watch the first one too if you forgot about it. All 3 of those together make a really tight, good horror ghost story.
Okay, sweet.
So Phil's creepy video says, I need Halloween kills in my life. Yeah, I think we all do. Talking Cobra Kai says, what is your favorite streaming service? I know you must be diving into Apple TV Plus now with The Servant. So do you like Apple TV Plus? Because that's my favorite right now.
See, Apple TV Plus, I haven't had a lot of shows to watch on it. I watched this show that it's an animated show, and it's called Central Park, and then The Servant, and that's really it that I've seen on Apple TV Plus. I watched the Billie Eilish documentary in theaters, and I caught a little bit of it. I rewatched a little bit of it on Apple TV Plus, but and nothing else that I really watch on there. HBO Max, though, that's where I'm.
HBO Max was my favorite for a little bit when it first came out.
I'm loving it right now. And
so many classic movies on there too.
It is a lot of classic movies that I've actually were able to watch. I watched One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Seven Samurai. So like there are some classics there.
Gotta watch Dog Day Afternoon. Like if you take part in my Lumet month, like that's the one to watch. Like that.
Okay, and it's so on HBO
Max. Yeah, with Al Pacino, it's so good.
Okay, sweet.
I love that movie.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say Apple TV Plus because The Morning Show was great. Defending Jacob was great. The Servant I really loved.
I did watch
and Ted Lasso we're watching right now too with Jason Sudeikis, and that's a really good show.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Ted Lasso, and I liked it a lot. I just haven't returned to it.
It's the shtick of like Jason Sudeikis' shtick in the show, his character. It does it wears a little bit thin, but they're starting to get more into like the story of his character and his like backstory and stuff with his family and things. So it develops a little bit.
I really like his shtick and his personality on that series because I feel like that's kind of not a role that he takes typically.
No, it's not. It's like he's a good guy in the show.
He's actually a good guy.
He usually plays like a douchebag type character. Yeah. I'm thinking like Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses, and
he was
even
playing that a lot. We're the Millers, Hall Pass, those kind of movies. But yeah, I'll say Apple TV Plus for now. Connected with you, great stream. Let's see. Blockbuster Bob said, when is Candyman remake being released? I don't know if they got a concrete release date on that yet. But I'm looking forward to it for sure. Phil's Creepy Videos. Ken and AJ, what's your favorite go-to movie snack? That's a good question.
I love popcorn. I think that's my go-to. And candy wise, Milk Duds, Twizzlers, Pull Apart.
Yeah. If we're talking the theater, I'll say popcorn, definitely. I mean, you gotta have popcorn. At home, I eat a lot of like pistachios. Like I'll just be sitting there like breaking them apart, eating them. And granola, I eat a lot of granola too. So it's like healthy snacks when I'm at home. But if I'm in the theater, it's candy and popcorn and all the stuff that's going to give me a heart attack way too early. But video temptation. Let's see. Temptation, cat treats, popcorn, and Dr. Pepper. Okay, you're answering Phil's question there. Phil's Creepy Video says, nice, Patrick. David's Horror says Raiders of the Lost Ark for me.
That's most people. Most people.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people like Last Crusade too. It's amazing how that franchise doesn't really have a solid like number one for people. Like with Star Wars, most people will say Empire. But
yeah, most people do say Empire. That's
except
not
for this guy. He says Return of the Jedi.
Oh, nice. I'm a New Hope guy.
That's my second favorite. I mean, it's like very thin margin. I think like A New Hope is my number 14 favorite movie of all time. So it's pretty high up there. I love that one.
Sweet.
David's Horror said, my wife and I saw What Lies Beneath 2000 on our honeymoon. All right.
Sweet.
That's a good Robert Zemeckis movie. I don't know if you've seen that with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I haven't seen it.
Let's see. Harry Gregson Williams is one of the best composers in the world. Worked on lots of movies and Metal Gear Solid soundtrack. Okay. Good to know, man.
I like that game.
Yep. You big Metal Gear Solid guy? How many of those have you played?
I'm not big on it, but I do. I played it when I was a kid. Probably shouldn't have played it when I was a kid, but yeah, the Metal Gear.
Well, the first one's not bad.
It's not bad, but
you're just walking around with a box on your head,
basically, and then you can't get caught. But yeah, I mean, I played it when I was a kid. I don't play it much now, but
Snake.
Yeah,
Snake. I found the Mind's Eye at Dollar Tree a couple of days ago. That's a good find then if you found a horror movie that you love at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, I've got a segment coming to the channel soon that's going to be me probably digging through some of my Dollar Tree trash buys and watching them. and reviewing them for people. So stay tuned for that. Patrick Coran says, I can't sit through a 4-hour film.
Either.
Yeah, that would be rough
For
sure, especially a Zack Snyder film. For 4 hours might be a little daunting. Talking Cobra Kai says, would you rather join the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy? That's a good question.
Guardians.
I don't know. It depends on what powers I got. Because nobody in the Guardians of the Galaxy really has powers, do they? Except for, I guess, Peter Quill, kind of a celestial or whatever.
He's not anymore.
But he's not anymore? Did they take it away from him?
Take it away in the second one because his dad got killed. So that was the part of him.
Okay.
So that's why he could hold the Infinity Stone in, I guess, Infinity War or whatever. But yeah, I would say Guardians. I like Guardians a lot. I like the band of misfits feel. I feel like I'm a misfit sometimes. So
yeah, I'll say Guardians just because I might want to interact with Rocket Raccoon. So I think that'd be kind of fun. Patrick Rand says, what is the best horror movie of all time, Child's Play or Nightmare on Elm Street? Well, neither one of those are the best of all time. But if you're asking me what's the best of the two, I'll say Nightmare on Elm Street, even though I do love the first Child's Play.
Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street scares the crap out of me, so I don't watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Was it the first one?
It does. The Johnny Depp one, whatever Johnny Depp.
It's a scary movie.
Yeah.
Very scary movie.
And I saw it as a kid. And even when I watched Freddy vs. Jason, like they did like flashbacks of the first one, like the very first Nightmare on Elm Street. And I was just like, no, not for me.
Freddy is scary. It's such a brilliant idea about Wes Craven because it's the concept that you can't go to sleep and you can't escape that. You're done to sleep. There's just nothing getting out of that.
Nope.
Jason, you just don't go to the camp. Michael, you just leave town.
Right.
But you can't escape your dreams. So, yeah, it's a terrifying movie.
I would say, I would say Child's Play for that answer.
Child's Play. Child's Play is great. I love Child's Play. I like Child's Play 2 a little bit better, but I love the first one too. My wife asked me to. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I think that Chucky comes into his own a little bit in the second one as a character, but my wife asked me to take her to see Act of Valor. Never heard of that one.
Oh yeah, I've seen that actually.
I feel like I've seen that like on the shelves somewhere.
Yeah, it was decent. I think it was actual Marines or people that were actually in the army that acted in that film. So
that is cool. H&S Collectible says, just recorded my review for Cruel Jaws, Patrick. So that's Jaws 5. If you're not familiar with the Cruel Jaws, but Vinegar Syndrome had to release it as Cruel Jaws. So
I've never seen
man. I need to check that out. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you, H&S Collectibles, but I will definitely do so after the stream.
Sweet.
Let's see. I've seen worse. Let's see. Ouija Shark is next. I've never heard of Ouija Shark. They're just like combining stuff together at this point.
Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharknado, Ouija Jaws. That's nuts. I gotta watch a Ouija Jaws movie. But they've also did like a Shark Exorcist movie.
Did they?
As well. Yeah,
why am I surprised?
Yeah. Stacy Wilson's in the chat. Hey guys, that's your wife right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Stacy. How are you doing tonight? Godzilla and King Kong trash talked a lot in the original film. Did they? I've never seen it. I haven't watched a lot of the old school Godzilla and King Kong.
They're on HBO Max.
Are they all on there now?
I know the old Godzilla movies are, and some of the King Kong movies. I don't know if all of them are on there, but I saw that like a lot of the I think 50s came out in the 50s or 60s. Yeah, I saw that on there. So I don't know. I'll probably check
watch the 1932 King Kong before the Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, but
I don't know if I'm going to go back that far.
I wonder what. But I think everyone says that the 70s one is the best, at least of the classic King Kong ones. I think Shout Factory's got a release of that coming out soon.
Sweet.
I just watched Minor Premise 2020. I haven't heard of that one either.
I haven't heard of it.
Okay, AJ, how do you not like La La Land? That is Jape Epgar that asked that. So you don't like La La Land? Are you serious?
I don't like La La Land. It was very it wasn't interesting to me for some reason.
The music puts that one over the top for me. I love the score in it, and that's one that's special to me. Also, like that was one of my favorites theatrical experiences. Me and my wife watched that movie a lot. We went on New Year's Eve of 2016 to 2017. I think we were watching it when the time split at New Year's Eve. So
I'll have to rewatch it to solidify my thoughts.
I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I mean, sometimes it's just how it is, man. Yeah, but I will say that with one of the movies that kind of romance movies that I didn't like in the theaters that I liked later on when I watched it at home was A Star Is Born. I didn't love that when I first saw it in theaters, but I love it now.
Okay.
So sometimes you change your mind.
I do like that movie a lot. I love the soundtrack as well.
Let's see. Colossal is a great Sudeikis movie. Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen
Anne Hathaway. I didn't like it too much, but it was cool. It was a cool idea. They were both like, I think they were, if I remember, they were like channeling themselves into like big kaiju monsters, and it was like a romantic comedy too. It was a weird movie. Yeah,
you'll have to look into that. Yeah.
Phil's Creepy Video says, which do you think can travel through time and space better, the DeLorean or Doctor Who's TARDIS? I'm not familiar with Doctor Who, so I'll go DeLorean.
Doctor Who's TARDIS, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the capabilities of the Doctor Who's TARDIS. So
Doctor Who's TARDIS can go through time and space and, well, different dimensions as well. So I don't know. The TARDIS, yeah.
That sounds like it's better. Sounds like it's better.
So
are you? You're a Whovian?
Yes, I'm a Whovian.
I can't do the Whovian. That's too much to get through. And there like 55 seasons of that show.
Well, there's the classic ones that came out in the 60s, and then there was like the reboot in 2005, maybe came out in like 2005, and now it's like on season. Right. It's like on season 12 of that. So yeah, it's a lot.
Now they got a female doctor, right?
They do.
It wasn't like the big thing because I feel like a season of that show releases on Blu-ray like every single week. Yeah. And I think I saw it in stores today when I was in there with the new season was on DVD.
A woman doctor for the past 2 seasons. So yeah. Whenever the doctor dies, they just reincarnate into a different body embodiment. So
if I had the time, I would definitely check it out, but I don't know if I do. And the thing is that I watch all my TV with my wife usually, and if she's not down to watch a show, I'm probably not going to watch it. The only ones I can kind of watch in isolation by myself are like WandaVision or the important shows.
Oh, she didn't want to watch WandaVision with you?
No, she didn't like the first 2 episodes.
She wasn't feeling it? Okay.
No, she's not like big into the MCU and stuff. So I watched it with my son though, and I'm trying to watch Cobra Kai with him now as well.
Okay.
I'm enjoying that so far. David's Horror says Freddy was great through the first 3 movies. After that, he almost seemed like a parody of himself with all the one-liners. I'll agree with that. I agree with that, even though Dream Master holds a special place in my heart. I love part 4. Paul Phoenix says Time Crimes. You never heard of Ouija Shark? No, I never have. Sharks in the Hood. Is there a Sharks in the Hood?
I don't know.
Of the unholy trinity, Myers, Freddy, Jason, from who do you have the best chances of escaping alive? I'll go with Michael Myers. I'll go with Michael Myers. Yeah, he feels slower to me. Jason, I've seen Jason pull off some pretty impressive feats of agility. So he's pretty quick in some of those movies. Like he'll walk
like at all, like sprint.
I mean, when Kane Hodder plays Jason, which is like in the later ones, I think 7, 8, 9, and 10 he was in, like he's almost sprinting in those movies. Like he just has such a forceful walk that it feels like he's running.
Okay.
So it feels like I couldn't get away from him. But I think I can get away from Michaels. Plus, he doesn't care about you unless you live in Haddonfield or you're related to him or something.
Right.
But just subscribe to you, AJ Reacts. That's Patrick Coran. Awesome, man. Phil's Creepy Videos. The Tom Baker years are my favorite Doctor Who's. I do not know who Tom Baker is. I know Rick Baker.
Those are the classics.
Yeah.
I think 80s. I think Baker was in the 80s.
Yep. That sounds correct. Paul Phoenix says, yep. and Time Crimes is fantastic, Paul. So that's all that I have right now. We're done with the Q&A, unless other people have some stuff to say. But I was going to get into some other things with you, talking about your first time watches.
Okay.
That you've been doing, because I know you've been doing a lot of first time watches. You're like halfway through. Aren't you on like number 50?
I'm on 49 now.
And you're counting down backwards.
Down. Yeah, right? I'm counting down.
You're counting down backwards. So
yeah, I was counting up 51, but I'm counting down. So
yep. So I got your page right here. Everybody go follow at AJ Reacts on Instagram. You know, does great first time watch reviews, and also his YouTube channel as well. So I'm trying to get to something. I'm trying to go in like an order here, but I guess we can go from like top down. Bohemian Rhapsody. Mm-hmm. You gave a 7.5 out of 10. So why do you hate Bohemian Rhapsody so much?
I don't hate Bohemian Rhapsody. Somebody asked me that today too, and I enjoyed the music aspect of the film a lot. I feel like if I was in the theater, I would have enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was a great theatrical experience.
Yeah, and that's what everybody's telling me. And I'm like, dang, I wish I could have seen it in the theaters. But like the story, it was just kind of slow moving. I didn't really care about any of the other members much other than Freddie. And I don't know, it was just kind of a slow paced film for me, other than the musical, you know, the musical aspect of it.
So. Yeah, it's a basic biopic. It doesn't really dig its teeth into the actual story of Freddie Mercury too deep.
Death, I wanted to know more about his death and, you know, AIDS that, you know, he had and suffered from. So, you know, I was wanting to know a little bit more about the character. Rami Malek did great though. Rami Malek did.
Yeah, really there's so many people that are just so critical of this movie. They're like, it's shit, it's garbage. I'm like, it is not a garbage movie. Like, it's a good movie, and it's a feel good movie. It's an emotional movie. Like when you got to the end of it, I really enjoyed just everything in that movie. But I would say when I came out of theaters, I was like, that was a 10 out of 10. That was my favorite movie of the year. Like I freaking loved it. I'm a big Queen fan too.
I like Queen a lot.
So it's like the music was just overpowering. I loved it. And then when I watched it on Blu-ray at home, I did enjoy it slightly less, even though I do still really like the film, but I started to see some of the flaws in it. But let's see. You watch Fury? I've never seen Fury.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
I've heard it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Moneyball is one that I haven't seen either, but I hear that that's really good. You gave that a 7. That's actually kind of low.
Yeah, and it's because I'm not a big baseball.
You hate that worse than Bohemian Rhapsody, actually.
Yeah, I mean, why do you say hate? It's not a hate thing. It's not a hate thing. It's just kind of like I kind of go off of entertainment. And when I split up my scores like that, I kind of want to explain myself. When I split up my scores is when my overall score is like more like the creation of the film, how well with production, the acting, and things like that. But personal score is more of like my enjoyment with it. And I'm not into baseball. I don't really get the, you know, analytics of it, and that's what really was primarily talked about in the film. And I'm just like, I don't really care. But the acting was great. Jonah Hill. That's my second favorite role from Jonah Hill. And I really like.
What's your first favorite? Wolf of Wall Street?
It is. It's Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah,
he's great in that movie.
He is.
I still can't believe he won. He won an Oscar, right? Did he win or was just nominated?
I can't remember.
I feel
but
like
he got some Oscar buzz for either this movie or Wolf of Wall Street or both. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's one that I still need to check out. I have it on Blu-ray. I think I got it at a 5 Below.
It's definitely a 5 Below type movie for me.
This is one that I haven't seen for a really long time, so I really can't comment. It's not one that I love or anything.
Yeah.
But Big Trouble in Little China, personal score 7.5. You gave it a better personal score than overall score.
Yes.
I do think that's important to point out sometimes that the movies that we love aren't necessarily great movies. How you can kind of see the difference between the two when you're scoring stuff.
I got to really split that in my mind because I will give things like really low scores that don't necessarily deserve it. Probably like La La Land. I would probably give La La Land a 8 out of 10 overall score, but
you can recognize that it's a technically well-made movie, choreography, dances, music, all that stuff. But
a lot of work put into it, a lot of production put into it. But just personally, enjoyment-wise, not for me. But
But yeah, I think that's a really good way to do it. So, and as we're going through these, if anybody else has watched anything recently for the first time in the chat and you want to let us know, feel free to do so. Jackie, another one I've never seen, but I think Natalie Portman got nominated for this one, and you gave that a personal score of 5. So you legitimately did hate this movie.
I disliked it. Yes, I wouldn't say hate. I would say hate is like a 3, a 1 through 3, 4 through 6 is a dislike. 7 through 10, I would say 7 and 8. I decently liked. 9 and 10, I really liked. So,
do you do 0.5s, 0.75s, anything like that?
I do 0.5s. That's it. I do half scores.
Yeah. To me, like I always think of it like a letter grade in school or something. Like if you got a below a 60%, you would fail. So I always get shit online when I post a score and I say it's a 7. And they're like, "That's a terrible movie. Why'd you give that a 7?" 7 to me is like a C, and I think that's kind of like
I think that's about the same for me.
Yeah, so like to me, like when you start getting down into the 4s and the 3s and the 2s and the 1s, those are like technically broken films that are just absolutely unwatchable movies. It's not like something that's clearly has some production value. And then I think it's important to also take into account you rate movies in context of like what they're trying to accomplish as films.
True. Very true.
As well. So I'll have some people that say like, how could you give this movie a 10 and this movie a 10? Like, how could you give The Godfather an 8 and you give a movie like Ready or Not an 8.5? Like, clearly Godfather's a better made movie. It's a classic movie, better directed, better cinematography. But in the context of what it's trying to be and it's like genre and film type, and your I think it's important level to take that into account. Yeah, and your entertainment level as well. Because Ready or Not's not aiming to be The Godfather, so I don't think it should be judged like The Godfather.
Well put.
Let's see. 12 Years a Slave, another one I need to see. You gave that a 10 out of 10. I need to check that one out then.
It's a great film. Great film.
That's a high score. Do you give a lot of 10s?
No, not a whole lot of 10s. This year, I did say I'm going to be a lot more, maybe not lenient, but a lot more, not as harsh on film this year, because I feel like in the past, it was hard for me to even enjoy a film without just analyzing it and picking it apart. And, even the things that were like really good, I was kind of like trying to pick it apart. And I just found myself doing that a lot. So I'm giving myself a lot more grace with, my scores. And but this one was genuinely a 10 out of 10 for me. Very difficult to watch, but I feel like it's a must watch.
Got a great cast. Michael Fassbender. It's one I've always been meaning to watch. I think it was on a list for me to watch, and I never got around to it. But I definitely need to. Clockwork Orange. You didn't watch this one last year, did you?
Nope.
I got to talk to you about this one. So a personal score of 4 out of 10. That's a very low score. I can see it though. I can see it though. It's a film that I could have just as easily came out of and freaking hated the movie. It could have went either way. It felt like a more modern day type A24 film. It felt very ahead of its time.
In a way.
It felt like one of those A24 movies that would come out and be very divisive, and you would have people that love it and say it's a masterpiece and people that would hate it and say it was trash. But I just happened to fall on the side of loving the movie. I think I gave it like a 9 out of 10. It wasn't like a masterpiece or anything, but it's a top 3 Kubrick for me. It was number 3. Really? And then I gave Full Metal Jacket it was number 2, and then The Shining, of course, is number 1.
Now, was that a first time watch for you?
It was.
Yep. Okay, recently.
It was, yeah, last year for my Kubrick month. That was a first time watch. So that was a big one.
Okay.
This one not the Billie Eilish. I haven't seen that one. Uh, overall score of 10 out of 10. Personal score of a 9.5 out of 10. So you really like Magnolia.
I really enjoyed Magnolia. I don't know if it was just, where I was in my headspace while watching it, but I just really enjoyed, the interwoven stories of these different characters and how they all connected. And that was, astonishing to me. So yeah, 10 out of 10.
Another one. That's another one I watched for the first time this year. I enjoyed a lot of it. I thought Tom Cruise might be the best Tom Cruise performance
really
ever. I thought he was freaking great in the movie.
His dad, I was blown away.
You rarely get a Tom Cruise performance where you don't see Tom Cruise. You usually always see Tom Cruise, and in that one was one where I felt like he kind of transcended, and he's really doing something different with that role, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was a little long for me.
It was long. It was long.
3 hours, and I felt it.
I think that was that 0.5 for my personal score.
Yeah,
was the runtime.
I felt it had a lot of good actors in it, and they only seemed to want to do anything with Tom Cruise and Wreck-It Ralph. What's his name?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly. Those are the ones they focused on the most, I felt like. And I felt like Julianne Moore, I didn't really like her character, and I felt like she could have been given more to do because she's great in Paul Thomas Anderson's other movies like Boogie Nights. So,
I got Boogie Nights still, but Julianne Moore's character wasn't supposed to be likable at all.
Yeah, no, it
was just you didn't like how she was used.
I just didn't find it very compelling.
Okay.
Her character, but it's the end of it too with the frogs. I was just like, what's going on here? What is this movie?
Curveball in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and William H. Macy too. They didn't do enough with him. They could have done more with William H. Macy, but I didn't watch the Billie Eilish documentary. This is a good one. Oh my God, you didn't like The Big Short?
I didn't like it at all.
It's funny because I'm reacting to some of these for the first time. I don't remember seeing this one from you, but it's I love The Big Short. I thought it was fantastic.
Okay.
Did you ever see Vice? Adam McKay's other movie that he came out with?
I haven't seen Vice.
It was good. I think I liked The Big Short a little bit better, but it was more of a straight biopic. I love Christian Bale in this movie. You didn't like him in this movie? I thought he was so good.
Not really.
It's been a while since I've seen it, though. It's been 6 years. I watched it when it first came out. I just remember loving it. I didn't think they used Ryan Gosling enough, but yeah, I just liked all the characters and how they kind of interconnected, and I thought it was good. But you gave it a 4 out of 10, so you did not like this movie at all. But you gave it an overall score of a 7 out of 10, though. So that's good. That's good. I haven't seen this one either. Is this pretty good? Personal score of 3 out of 10. You didn't like this one. I thought you said you were going to be less harsh on movies.
Yeah, I did say that, but this one I technically hated. It just wasn't compelling to me at all. At all.
Yeah, Snowpiercer I still need to see too. It was 6.5 out of 10.
It was a decent film. It just didn't captivate me the way that I wanted it to.
I don't feel like Bong Joon-ho really hit his stride until he got Parasite, because what's the movie he did on Netflix? The freaking pig monster.
The Host, or is that what it's called?
Okja. Remember Okja?
Okja. Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that movie that much. It was okay, but it was very mediocre for him. Overall score of 8 out of 10 for Dallas Buyers Club.
I did like it.
I did give this one a personal score. So why did you give some a personal and some?
If I don't give it a personal score, it's the same. It's the same score.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So 8 out of 10. I remember that movie being good. It's been years since I've seen it. I think I saw that one when it came out too. Mm-hmm. It's one I've been meaning to. So this is one I haven't watched yet. So I'm interested to see what you gave The House That Jack Built. 8.5 out of 10.
I liked
it. Yeah, I got the where the hell's it at? I don't know if I want to look for it forever, but damn, where's it at? I know I got a Scream Factory for it. Here it is. Yeah, I got the Scream Factory for it, but I haven't watched it yet.
Director's cut.
So
Sweet.
I need to watch it at some point because I hear it's pretty nuts.
It is nuts, and I liked it a lot. I did like it a lot.
Yeah, American Gangster. I've never seen that. You thought that was pretty good? 7.5. Mm-hmm. You watched The Wolf of Wall Street this year for the first time?
I did.
Groundhog's Day, 5.5 out of 10. Oh man, that's a classic.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to fight you on it because I've only seen Groundhog's Day once, and it's been a long time.
Yeah, wasn't for me.
Wolf of Wall Street, 8.5 out of 10. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. I don't think it's a masterpiece. It's not my favorite Scorsese movie. It's at least top 5.
The film actually shocked me with the content that it had to offer. The one scene that I love in the movie, outside of all the scenes with Margot Robbie, is the scene with him and Kyle Chandler on the yacht. Oh,
I love that scene where they're talking together, and at first you think that Kyle Chandler's being kind of friendly with him, and then he just lays into him like full on, like, I know who the fuck you are and what you're doing. And I love that scene so much.
I love it too. And he throws the lobsters at him.
Yeah. It's a great movie though. Casablanca. Personal score is 7 out of 10. I'm with you there. I didn't love the movie. I thought it was okay.
Liked it.
Yeah. I watched that for the first time a couple years ago. I didn't think it was that great. I've seen better romance stories from the 40s and 50s. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. 3 Billboards, 9 out of 10. It's a great movie. Mm-hmm. It is a great movie that I enjoy quite a bit. I Am Not Your Negro. I have not seen this movie. 10 out of 10. Was this a documentary?
Documentary film, yes.
Has it got Samuel L. Jackson in it?
He is
just
the narrator, yes.
Waiting. I watched this movie because you reviewed it, right?
Yeah, I know. As soon as I reviewed it, you went back and watched it.
I had to watch it again to think if I was wrong, and I was right. I loved it. That's the left. But I will say that there is some stuff in this movie that you can't say or do anymore in movies, and it's very dated for that reason. Yeah. They use the R word a lot in this movie. Yeah. And I know for damn sure you're not going to get away with that now. But it's crazy just how much movies have changed and like what's acceptable and what's not acceptable in just 15 years. But I don't know. This movie came out when I was 20 and I was an immature kid. And I just remember I just moved out of my house and I had an apartment. Me and my friends used to get together and drink and watch this movie all the time. And it's just a lot of good memories attached to it. And it's very stupid and silly, but I still like it.
In my review, I say I'm still waiting to laugh.
You didn't laugh from Under Cheese?
I think I might have chuckled a couple times, but I
thought it was the best movie Dane Cook has ever been.
I actually like Dane Cook in a film with Steve Carell called Dan in Real Life.
That's a good movie. I got that on DVD, I think, at half price a couple of weeks ago. But all right, we'll see if we got any comments. I'm done going through all your movies for now. Your hot takes, if you will.
Takes.
I thought it'd be something different to kind of go through here. And I legitimately was reacting to some of those for the first time. David's Horror says, "You're a classic, Phil. The cockroach kill in Dream Master is the funniest Freddy kill." That is a great kill. I like that kill. David's Horror said, "Just connected with AJ Reacts." Sweet. Apparently you can't, it's not good to use the word subscribed on a stream or write it. That's what I heard from them. And so they use the word connected instead. Okay. I had not heard that before. I'm still not familiar with all the do's and don'ts of YouTube. Yeah. Straight Outta Compton, way better. Love Fury, amazing movie. Fury was a good movie. One of my favorite war movies in the past 10 years was Hacksaw Ridge. Have you seen Hacksaw Ridge?
Hacksaw Ridge is my favorite war movie. I'm not a big war movie fan.
I'm not too big on them either.
Yeah, but it goes Hacksaw Ridge, 1917, and I don't even know what would be the third, but 1917. I loved 1917. But Hacksaw Ridge really, really got me.
It's a great the second half is great. The battle is like one of the best directed battles I've ever seen.
A lot of people like the second half more than the first half, but I liked both of the halves equally.
Yeah. The first half was good. It wasn't bad or anything. It just felt more kind of like a Lifetime, not a Lifetime, but like a made-for-TV movie in the first half. If I remember, it's been a while since I've seen it, but
Andrew Garfield, he took that role and ran with it. He really did.
Yeah, I mean, it's that war scene. I need to watch that again. I got it in 4K, and I need to watch it again because it's been since it came out since I've seen it. But yeah, man, Mel Gibson, controversial dude. He's done a lot of despicable things in his day, but the guy can act and direct a movie that we know. Have you seen Anthropod? No, I have not seen that.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen that movie. David's Horse says A Clockwork Orange, even The Shining were two Kubrick movies that took repeat viewings to really appreciate. So there you go. You might just need to watch A Clockwork Orange 50 more times while somebody's holding your eyes open.
Exactly.
Things. And then you might enjoy it.
Yep.
Paul Phoenix says Love Magnolia. Rev 4K is here, says I'm late. And he also says, but I love you, Ken. So me and him were having an argument the other night about Bride of Chucky. I really don't like that movie that much because that kind of signified the downfall of the Child's Play universe to me.
Bride of Chucky is terrible.
That's his favorite. Good. I'm glad you're with me.
Bride of Chucky is terrible. Seed of Chucky is even worse. But
Seed of Chucky is worse. And
I didn't think that it could get. I didn't think it could get worse than Bride of Chucky, but it did.
But the thing is that I don't blame Seed of Chucky for being what it is because it's Bride of Chucky's fault. So it's all Bride of Chucky's fault.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't like it.
They couldn't go the Bride of Chucky and then back to like a Child's Play 3 standard. No, you got to continue with that, silliness.
Even so some people don't like Child's Play 3, and I don't get the criticism for that one at all. I know Andy's not a kid, and the actor that plays him isn't great. But I like the military school setting. I think it has some of the best kills, some of the best one-liners by Chucky, and I love the end, like in the amusement park, with like the roller coaster and stuff. I think it's a really solid movie.
I've seen the third one. I've seen the first. No, I don't think I've seen the second one. I've seen the first, third, Bride and Seed, Cult, and the reboot with Mark Hamill.
Cult sucks. I didn't like Cult at all.
What was the one after Cult?
After Cult was the reboot. So Curse of Chucky is the one that took place in the house. It had the girl in the wheelchair, which I think she might have been in Cult too. I think she might have came back. That was the one that kind of gave me hope that maybe they were going to go back in the right direction because they had those spooky vibes of the first one, and Chucky didn't talk as much. And he was like old school Chucky, if I remember right. Like he didn't have all the scars and stuff on him. So I liked Curse okay. But then they just went right off the rails again with Cult, and it was more like Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky again. So Child's Play 2 and Cult of Chucky were the two that I haven't seen, but I've seen all the other ones. Yep. Unwrap the Movies is here. What is up, man? What's up, man? I hope I don't know who won the battle. I know they just had a battle over on 4K's channel. And you're battling this Thursday night, correct?
I think I'm battling this Thursday. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think you're battling this Thursday night. If I remember correctly. Unwrap the Movie says, I like 1917 a lot. It's a great movie. It's my favorite war movie. I would say after that's probably Saving Private Ryan and then maybe Hacksaw Ridge. Connected is a safe word here on YouTube. Okay, there you go. Red 4K says Mel Gibson is an underrated director. I mean Braveheart, Passion of the Christ. Have you seen Passion of the Christ?
I have, and I don't know if I would consider Mel Gibson underrated. I think he's pretty highly regarded in as a director.
You might be right. He was. at a certain point for sure.
He got canceled. He was saying a few things that weren't okay, and that probably brought him down a couple pegs. But I think he's pretty highly regarded and as a director.
Yeah, I'd say so. I haven't seen Apocalypto yet. I still haven't seen that one. A lot of people say that's really great, probably his best film, and I have not seen it either. But Braveheart, Hacksaw Ridge are definitely great. Passion of the Christ I saw in theaters, and that movie just made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know about everybody else. It was just it was a little bit too much.
That was kind of the point.
Yeah, I know.
You just don't like feeling uncomfortable. I mean, yeah, I get it.
In my horror movies, but I don't know. I can't remember it. It's literally been since 2004 in the theater since I saw that movie.
Yeah, it was actually a first time watch for me last year.
Yeah. So did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I'll have to go back and revisit it. It's just really hard for me to remember other than I was just watching it and I was just like it was like watching Hellraiser, but it wasn't fun because it's Jesus that's getting tortured. So,
yeah. It's not one that's easily rewatchable for me, but it's just I thought it was definitely well made.
Yeah, Hellraiser with Jesus. That's what I'll call Passion of the Christ. Side Hustle Cinema said everyone is coming over from the battle. Awesome. Glad we can get the runoffs from the battle tonight. HDG TV Wrestling says late after watching 4K Corner, but I'm here now. Yeah, we're getting everybody from 4K Corner stream now. So awesome.
Bring in the questions if you have questions for us.
Yeah, bring some questions. You know, we're just doing a Q&A casual talk with AJ. I've got some questions for you too that I'm going to bring up here in a second if nobody else has anything. Just a little bit of a segment that I'd like to call Get to Know AJ from AJ Reacts. Right. Bride of Chucky is hilarious. Chucky is a savage. LOA, he's better comedian than a horror character. I disagree. I think he's a great horror character when he's actually allowed to be a horror character.
Yeah, agreed. He was
never scared. Yes, he was.
I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that at all. Especially if you're a kid watching it. Yeah.
Let's see. He was never scary. I might have to pull an image here and let you know just how scary Chucky is.
I mean, maybe not to them. He never was, but I don't know.
I have to disagree and try to pull this image of Chucky real quick. If I can get an image that's not a video. All right. Let's see. You tell me that's not scary right there. That image of Chucky coming towards that teacher, beating her to death with a ruler. That is the freakiest, scariest shit that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
Look at those eyes. Like seriously, and you're saying that Chucky's not scary.
Yeah.
I disagree.
That's scary to me.
But that is proof right there.
Fear is objective. Fear is subjective, you know. So
it's true. So, that is true.
Something that's frightening for some people.
Scared the shit out of me when I was like 8, though. So
well, yeah. I mean, that's what I said. If when you watch it when you're younger, that's it. You getting rid of all your dolls.
I remember being in a Target as a kid. So I don't know when Child's Play 2 would have been coming out on VHS, probably around 92. But they had a huge standee of that classic Chucky Child's Play 2 poster. I don't know if you know it, but he's got the scissors and he's cutting the Jack in the Box head off. Mm-hmm. And it scared the shit out of me. There was a big old standee in Target, and I just went around the corner and saw it. And yeah, it's Child's Play 2 is awesome. I love it. Unwrap the Movie says favorite horror film of all time, The Exorcist. What's your favorite of all time?
The Exorcist was actually a first time watch of mine last October, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to like crap my pants because it was so scary, but it wasn't as scary as I thought. So
there's different levels to the movie because I remember watching them. I was younger and laughing at some of the scenes. And then like in my 20s, I felt like that movie grew with me over time and it didn't become my favorite until recently.
Okay.
But I really identify with just like the mother character in like later years, just being a parent and stuff, and having to go through your daughter like transforming in front of your very eyes and like not knowing what's wrong with her. I find that very scary.
It's pretty much the first of its kind, I feel like. Because I feel like that kind of became a trope after a while. After
yes, it did.
Exorcist, because you see that so many times in so many films and TV shows too. But
I think it's important to identify that too. Even if you've seen like 10 films that are just like The Exorcist, and then you go back and watch The Exorcist, and you're like, well, this is just like everything else. But you got to remember, like that's where it began.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it. It's like if it doesn't hit you that way, then it doesn't hit you that way. You can appreciate it, but
yeah, you can appreciate it. But yeah, it's not. It's the original. It's still the original, and it came before. These other things. That's exactly how I was feeling about Groundhog Day. Because we do have the Palm Springs and we do have X-Files episodes with time loops and things like that. So, and it came after Groundhog Day. Happy Death Day. Exactly. So, we do have those, films and shows that are, have a similar storyline, but this one was basically the first of its kind. So gotta acknowledge that.
Yeah, that time loop it's almost like an entire subgenre at this point.
It is, and it's getting a little tired, in my opinion.
Did you watch that map of tiny little perfect things?
I did. And
it was like a CW version of Palm Springs.
It really was. It felt like CW, and it didn't sit with me that well. But my wife liked it a lot, so.
I thought they did a good job adding a little bit of emotion to it. Like when you got to the closing moments, that really made me, the characters resonate with me a little bit more. But I didn't like the kid actor.
Yeah, the guy.
The boy.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that good.
Same here.
But when it opened up, I'm like, this is exactly the same opening as Palm Springs.
Yeah, basically.
Exactly.
Basically.
Let's see. You got another subscriber, AJ. Have Cheetah will view. Side Hustle Cinema said Child's Play 3 was my favorite. Awesome. Okay. It's not my favorite, but I love it. I love all three of those movies. HDG TV Wrestling. Thoughts on the movie Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence. Have you seen that?
I have it, but I haven't seen it.
It's good. It's a really good movie. It might be her best performance, honestly.
Really?
It's a really good movie. I watched it for the first time a couple years ago.
That's the first time I heard that, but okay.
She's great in American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook, but I think Winter's Bone might be her best.
Okay, sweet.
Unwrap the Movies says, any upcoming movies this year you guys are looking forward to seeing? Kong versus Godzilla?
Yep, that's what I was going to say. That and
Snyder Cut?
No, that's not. Yeah, that wouldn't even be on my list. But yeah, I mean, I am gonna watch it. But Ken, you know me. There's some anime films out there that's coming.
Go ahead and run down your long list of anime.
So actually, there's one film that I'm excited for this year, Demon Slayer. It's called Mugen Train, but it translates as Infinite Train, and it came out in Japan in October, and it was the #1 film in the box office for like 12 weeks straight in Japan. So it outdid Spirited Away, which is a Studio Ghibli film that was very popular. So yeah, I'm excited for Demon Slayer whenever it comes to the US. I'm ready for it. It's pretty much released everywhere else. So I don't know why it's not. I
think I see that. I pointed out on one of my hunts the other day, like Best Buy has an entire like anime shelf. They don't even have a lot of shelves anymore, but they still have an entire like anime shelf, and there's tons of like anime Blu-rays and stuff on there. But
one of my favorite sections in Best Buy.
I still need to do the anime month.
Yeah,
I actually watch some anime movies. But I know me, if I do an anime month, I'll literally watch one and then I'll be like, I'm not watching it anymore. I'll just quit. But maybe not. Maybe I'll love them. And I'll do so a lot of the Studio Ghibli ones are on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, they have like a whole collection of films. It's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. My favorite one isn't even on there. So I don't know. It's on Hulu, but I don't know. I think I think you would enjoy the one that I really like, the very first one, or my number one Ghibli film.
I wanted to see ones like Your Name and Weathering with You. Those are
Oh,
the ones that I see at.
Your Name's not on HBO Max though, so I had to find that.
I might buy the Blu-ray or something.
Your Name,
because I always see it at Walmart, and I hear it's really good. So
it is good.
I want to do a couple Ghibli films, and then I want to do like Your Name or a couple of the other ones that I see in stores. And
okay, I'm a little curious. This is the only question I'm going to ask though. Are you going to watch those subbed or dubbed?
I would
in English.
So I'll probably do subs. Do subbed.
Okay.
Because dubbed is very weird when it comes to like trying to pick out like how good performances. I know it's animation, so you can't really see like how good the performances are. I mean, kind of like with the voice performance, but
yeah, you can hear it for sure.
That's one of my problems with Suspiria, Dario Argento's movie, because everybody in that movie speaks a different language, and they're all dubbed in English. And it's very distracting throughout the movie.
Okay.
And I've seen a couple other movies like that, so I'm not a big dub guy. I would just put the subtitles on.
I will say that live action dubbed is a lot different than animated dubbed, but subbed is good too. I usually watch my movies subbed and my TV shows dubbed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I watch everything with subtitles. Like already.
Same here. Yeah. Even when I watch dubbed, I watch with subtitles.
Partially because I'm getting old and I guess I can't hear anymore. And just when I'm up late at night, my kids and wife are asleep. Like I don't want to wake anybody up. So
yeah.
Let's see. Red 4K said, I would just kick him hard in the face. Dolls aren't scary. Stop, guys.
Bro, they tried that.
But he's the original doll, man. He's the original doll. David Torres says, AJ, who should we be on the lookout on the music front?
On the music front, lately I haven't been doing a whole lot of music because I do get copyright claims a lot when I react to, music and music videos and things like that. But I don't know. I listen to a lot of soundtracks of films, and right now I'm listening to The Greatest Showman once again. I love The Greatest Showman soundtrack.
My wife loves that movie and soundtrack.
And the movie is decent, but the soundtrack is like
I would say the exact same thing. I think the movie's decent and the soundtrack's excellent. The music's awesome.
Yes. So but yeah, like on the music front, I know that I mean, I listen to hip hop, Christian hip hop, and things like that. So, yeah.
It was crazy when I discovered that Christian music had different genres when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That it actually has. There's a ton of like really hardcore heavy metal Christian bands.
Screamo.
Yeah. And like boy band Christian bands and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was pretty crazy to discover when I was a kid. Did either of you watch Monster Hunter yet? I didn't care for the story, but it has the best Atmos mix I've ever heard. I have not seen it. I don't have any plans to see it anytime soon, but have you seen it, AJ?
Same here. I'm right with you. I really like Mia Jovovich, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
Me neither. Unwrap the Movie says, I like Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence. I have not seen that.
Haven't seen it either.
Have not seen it. Jennifer Lawrence was good in Sparrow. Unwrap the Movie said, my Best Buy got rid of their anime section, sadly.
What?
That man, you got to come to my Best Buy.
I have to go to
tons of anime.
I have to go to corporate on that.
It's sad when you go in there now, man. They just keep shrinking it every week.
Yep,
it's depressing. HDG TV said, have either of you seen the movie The Beaver with Mel Gibson? It's underrated and not too many people have heard of it. I've never seen it.
Never heard of it.
I think it's got Jodie Foster in it too. I think that came up on something else too, another stream. My top 5 anime: Death Note, Hellsing Ultimate, Effin' Lied.
Okay.
I've heard of Death Note, but not the other two.
Same here.
Spirited Away, my favorite Ghibli movie.
I thought Spirited Away.
That's the one that comes up a lot.
Yeah, it's probably the most famous Ghibli film. It was like number one in the box office for like 10 weeks straight when it came out. But
Came out in the 80s, didn't it?
I think early 2000s. I'm pretty sure early 2000s.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, hasn't Ghibli been coming out with movies since like the 80s?
Yeah, my favorite Ghibli film is an 80s film.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, hey guys. What happened? I don't know what happened. AJ, what are your thoughts on Tokyo Ghoul? I love it. I have not seen Tokyo Ghoul.
I think I lost myself.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm running the show now. But I was just answering this question here.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Tokyo Ghoul. It is on my watch list. I have a subscription to Funimation, which is an anime streaming site, and it's on my watch list on there, but I just haven't seen it yet.
Funimation, Crunchyroll. Don't they have a bunch of
Funimation and Crunchyroll? Yep, I have both of those. I subscribe to Funimation though.
Paul Phoenix says, "Love Grave of Fireflies too," but it's
Grave of the Fireflies
the saddest film ever.
Is my favorite Ghibli film.
Yep, I have never seen it.
It's
obviously,
on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Is it?
It's
they got them on Hulu too.
Just that one. Just that. That's the only Ghibli film that's on Hulu, and it's my favorite Ghibli film.
Awesome. Chris Morrow's in here and he says, "Sup guys, was in the battle vid, wanted to show support and like your vid." Awesome, man. Appreciate you being here. David's Horror says, "AJ, you're talking to a soundtrack lover." Yep. I think we're all soundtrack lovers here.
I really enjoy musicals soundtracks as well.
Yep. Yeah, one that we didn't cover, but I saw you Singing in the Rain, and I haven't seen that movie yet.
Yeah. It's decent. The film might be a little overrated in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad film. It was good. I would say it was good.
Mm-hmm. Red 4K says, "Yeah, they tried it with Mom from Seventh Heaven. I'm 6'6", 250 pounds. Chucky never been kicked by me." Was that the mom from Seventh Heaven in the first one? I think it was. I don't
know. Was it?
I think it was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was. I'm just now putting that together in my brain, Rev.
I don't really know who the mom in Seventh Heaven was.
Yeah, that was like an old school CW. I don't even think it was called CW back then.
Well, I know Seventh Heaven. I used to watch it, but I can't remember what the mom looked like or who she was at all.
Wasn't Jessica Biel on that show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, but I think that's the same woman. Just picked up Bram Stoker's Dracula on vinyl. Also, The Crow, House of the Devil, and Open 24 Hours soundtracks. Yeah, I wish I collected more vinyls. I do want to collect some more vinyl stuff.
I think I have maybe 200 vinyls.
You have 200? That's a good. That's
about
a good
200 vinyls. Yeah. It's decent.
That's a good vinyl collection.
Mm-hmm.
I've got like 5, but
nice.
I think we got The Greatest Showman. I got Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, sweet.
We got La La Land.
Okay.
A couple others. I don't know.
I just was listening to my Greatest Showman vinyl earlier today. Yep.
Yeah, it's they always sound really good, and I need to collect more scores and stuff.
Yep.
Because they come out with some really cool designed ones, like collector's editions and stuff now.
Yeah, and 2017, I spent way too much money on vinyl, so I just really slowed down on it.
It scares me to get addicted to another form of media. Because I'm already addicted to this.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't have the money to do that, to get into something else like that.
Unless you're really rich, no one does.
Yeah, I'm not there. Maybe one day, who knows? Christian Deeper said, "Favorite M. Night movie? Signs." Signs is my favorite. Split's great. I love Split. That was definitely his resurgence right there. Letiel Moore says, "Most underrated horror movie, Feast." I don't even know how to answer that question. I'll say
what is that mean? What does that mean?
Underrated horror movie, Feast.
What does that mean exactly?
There was a feast at the end of Random Acts of Violence, which I watched last week, and not a lot of people know about that movie. So I'll say that.
Okay.
It was a disgusting feast of like body parts and stuff on the table, but it was set up like a feast. So Maybe that.
I don't know. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. Was there a feast? I feel like there was a feast there.
I'd say that's the OG horror feast.
Okay.
That all other horror feasts were based off of after that. With the old man that sucked the blood out of the girl's finger.
Mm-hmm.
He did that, right? That was a thing in the movie.
That was the thing. That was the thing.
That was pretty creepy.
Yeah, that was the first time
movie.
That was the first time watch for me last Halloween too. It was a lot of first time watches.
Do you like that one or the remake better? Or have you seen the remake?
I watched both of them basically back to back. I think it was the next day, but I watched the first one and then I watched the remake, and I feel like the remake had a lot more, like it was a lot more intriguing and it wasn't that slow paced. But honestly, I feel like the original
performance by Arlie Ermy, who plays the sheriff. Same guy from Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, I haven't seen Full Metal Jacket, but I do remember the sheriff, and he was creepy. He was creepy.
He was great in that movie.
He was good, really good. And the original, I feel like it might have been a better made film. And it felt a lot more authentic and not as Hollywood.
Yes, it does.
But the remake was very intriguing.
The first one kind of feels almost like a documentary.
In a way, yeah. In a way,
it's real dirty and grimy and disgusting, and I think it's scarier than the remake. But I love the remake. If I had the choice of which one do I want to watch, like tonight, I would probably choose the remake because I think it's more entertaining.
It is more entertaining. It is.
But when I'm in the mood to be scared and I just want those like classic old school horror feels, I'll watch the original. Let's see. Chris Morrow said, do any of you guys collect Arrow video cult classics such as some of the obscure stuff like Edge of the Axe, Deadbeat at Dawn, the stuff? I don't know if you do, AJ, but I have an Arrow video Criterion video coming out later this week.
Oh, sweet.
A collection video. So check that out if you want to know what's in my Arrow video collection. But do you have any of the Arrows in your collection?
Nah, I don't. I not that I know of. I don't. I'm not, when I collect, it's usually more mainstream. It's not usually the cult classics. But yeah, well, I don't have any of those.
You definitely have an impressive steelbook collection.
I do.
It shut me down in the battle. That's for sure.
The steelbook collection is
none of my Arrows saved me.
It was on peak. The steelbook collection, but other than that, yeah, I don't really dive deep into the cult classics.
Steelbooks today. FYE's got a steelbook sale right now. I got Clarlito's Way for $7.
Sweet. I saw you got Dread, right?
Dread. Yeah, Dread's. Yes. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but that steelbook really is awesome, nice.
So I'm excited to watch. Yeah, that's the kind of steelbook that gets me to buy a steelbook because I don't collect them a lot anymore. And that's an awesome cover. That one, really Do the Right Thing. They're doing some good work with steelbooks, so
I'm jealous.
I'm buying more nowadays.
You got that Do the Right Thing one from Target. Right?
Target did it. Yeah, it's an awesome steelbook.
They're probably sold out by now.
Yeah, those are my vinyls. They are.
She said, "Get your own. Get your own."
I think one of them's mine.
I
think at least one of them's mine. David's Horror says, I've spent way too much on vinyl, 1,000+ records.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, damn. I got like 200, 250, but I spent like in 2017, I spent like $800 on vinyl. And I said, yeah, I need to definitely reevaluate my life.
Damn. I mean, I can't say much. I mean, I would say in a given year, I spend at least $2,000 on Blu-rays and 4Ks and all that crap. I mean, that's just me guessing. It might be less, but yeah, I would say it's got to be somewhere in the $1,000 to $1,500 range at least. I mean, a year is a long time. David Torres says Mondo Waxworks have some great collectors variants for vinyl. Yeah, I work in a warehouse. We do Funko Pops. We ship out Funko Pops, like an Amazon type warehouse.
Sweet.
And we also ship out a lot of those vinyls. So I see them on like a daily basis, and they're all like super awesome covers. Like they have so many awesome horror vinyls and stuff. I didn't even realize they did all that stuff. There was a movie called Feast. Okay, I have not seen.
I heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
Lieutenant Moore said, "No, Feast is the title of a movie. Google it." But your response was cool. Thanks.
Oh wow, See,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
even if I don't understand what a question is, I still try to answer it to the best of my ability. Paul Phoenix says, I have Color Me Bad on vinyl. Awesome.
Sweet.
David's Horror said, I will be announcing a movie soundtrack tag video tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time. Would love to hear your responses. Awesome, man. Cool. I will check that out for sure. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you, but I will do so. Paul Phoenix said, Dread is amazing. 4K Corner says, yo, what did I miss? Everything, man. You missed the entire episode, but you're a busy guy and you were doing a battle, and I'm sure it was awesome, and I'll check out the replay when we get done. But so right now I'm going to bring up some of the questions I got for you. This is the get to know AJ segment of the show. This will be kind of our finale for the show tonight, because we have gone almost 2 hours, which was longer than I was anticipating. But
time flies when you're having fun, man.
It was a cool time. So these are just some of these are basic questions about movies, nothing like too hard.
Okay. I was getting a little nervous.
No, it's nothing too difficult, just standard basic questions, but it'll kind of shape let people get to know how you are as a movie fan, or who you are as a movie fan.
Sweet.
So what's your favorite genre of movies?
Favorite genre? I would probably say drama.
Drama?
Yeah. I love dramatic type films with a hint of comedy. But
Wall Street.
That wasn't just a hint. That movie was just so wild, man. I don't even know. That was a crazy
cocaine trip. It was literally what they were doing through the whole movie.
It really was. But,
I need to watch that again. It's been a while. I need to watch it.
So, yeah. But I would probably say dramas are my favorite.
I love dramas too. I would say more recently I've gotten into dramas. When I was a kid, like when I was a teenager, I watched a lot of comedies and horror and just some of those older like 80s nostalgic movies. And I didn't watch a lot of drama. So that's why I'm kind of going back now and revisiting some of those older classics, because it's just not what I grew up liking and enjoy. I watched a ton of horror and a ton of comedy, and that was it.
Yeah.
Favorite actor? Male actor.
Right. Favorite male actor will probably have to be Leo. I had to give it to Leo.
He's up there. It's like Leo and Tom Hanks for me.
Really? Okay.
Right up there at the top. And I would say
I feel like
that's why I love Catch Me If You Can, because it's both of them doing their thing.
I feel like Leo might be a little bit more versatile, though. Do you think?
You might be right. He's not as prolific as Tom Hanks, though. He hasn't done as much.
That's true.
He's done a lot. I think in the recent years he's slowed way down. Like he does one movie like every 3 years, but it also speaks to like who he is as an actor. He's good at picking his projects and stuff, and he always nails it when he does it.
He does every time. I haven't seen him miss. I at all.
No, I don't think he has. I don't think Romeo and Juliet's a good movie, but he's good in it.
I haven't seen Romeo and Juliet, so
it's kind of ridiculous, but he's good in it though. Favorite actress?
Favorite actress, probably Viola Davis. I think she's probably the best actress in my opinion. But
man, Fences is like one of my favorite movies from the past few years.
It just, I don't think she gets enough recognition, but I don't know. Yeah, Viola. I would say Viola.
I've discovered something about myself. I really like the movies that are kind of like plays in cinematic form. Yeah, because I love Fences and I love Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah,
and they're
Malcolm
very much.
And Marie kind of was like that too.
Yeah, it's like I can tell that it's like a play in cinematic form, and I get that criticism, but I just love it. I don't know what it is.
I love it too.
It allows you to really like get into those characters rather than like focusing on this the cinematography and the set design and all that other shit. But favorite character in any movie, male or female, just overall character.
Oh, these are some good questions. Man, I don't know. Let's come back to that one. Let's go back to that one.
There's so many good ones.
There's a tough one.
Favorite franchise.
Oh, there's so many that are just so great. I love the MCU. I might say MCU. But I love Lord of the Rings as well. Star Wars. I can't even pin it down to one. Let's just go MCU I'm just saying MCU.
It's a good one. I'd say they're the most consistent.
True.
I love Star Wars, but like they got some movies that I don't like. So
got some stinkers in there. Yeah.
What's your biggest hot take?
I just
You're the man of hot takes.
I just call them takes.
What's your biggest take? That Bohemian Rhapsody is trash?
No, I did not feel like Bohemian Rhapsody is trash. Let me see. You took that one to heart, man. You really took that one to heart.
No, I'm just messing with you.
One that I kind of like flaunt a little bit.
The only thing I would take to heart is if you said that you liked Rob Zombie's Halloween. Then I would take that to heart. That's the only thing.
But I did though. I'm kidding. But no, my biggest hot take, the one that I like to tell people is I don't like Home Alone.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's perfect.
So yeah,
that's perfect.
I really like Home Alone 2. I really like Home Alone 2.
I like it too.
Lost in New York, but I don't like Home Alone.
I don't get it at all.
First movie I remember seeing in theaters. Actually, the first movie I remember seeing is Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Oh, when did that come out? 2000?
Maybe 2000, early 2000.
2001.
Yeah. Was it 90s?
So you were like, how old did you say you were? 27?
Yeah.
26?
I was born in 1993.
So you were 7. Saw it?
Yep. I think that was the very first film I remember seeing in the theaters.
I don't know if I've seen that. I might have seen it, but
yeah. What's yours?
I was in middle school when that came out. Little Mermaid. That's the one I remember seeing first. So I was
sweet
89. I think I was 4. But yeah, that's I think that's the first one I saw in theaters, not just remembered. But
oh wow, really?
One I can remember very vividly seeing in theaters was Batman Returns. I remember going and seeing that. Top 3 MCU movies.
Okay. Right now, Endgame number 1, Infinity War number 2, Civil War number 3.
It's a good one. All 3 great movies. I think. Well, not Endgame. I think Endgame is probably like 6 or 7 for me, but Civil War and Infinity War is in my top 5.
Sweet.
Top 3 A24 movies.
Top 3 A24. Number 1, Florida Project. Number 2, Lady Bird. Number 2. What's number 3? Ex Machina. Let me change Ex Machina to number 2. Let me change Ex Machina to number 2.
Yeah.
And then Lady Bird number 3.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite A24 is Ex Machina.
It's great.
Florida Project's a stunning movie though.
I really
love that movie.
Yeah. It really took its time, but I loved the payoff.
I'm going to go back to this one real quick. Hopefully you got an answer. What's your favorite character?
That's really tough.
It's
I might say
somebody from Dragon Ball Z.
No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. No,
Goku.
No. I do love Goku, but no, that's not my number 1 character. And this is TV too.
It could be anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I'll leave it to just. Well, no, I'll go TV and movies because you already got a thought formulating.
Yeah, maybe Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
It's a good pick, and I think he had a great final arc in El Camino. I like that movie.
Agreed.
Best movie gift. So this is something that you got that it could be a movie, it could be something movie related, it could be an action figure, pop figure, poster, anything movie related that you got it as a gift.
Let's see. This is tough. Probably the Spider-Man trilogy on 4K. It's kind of like a booklet with the discs inside, and then like there's like reading elements to it and things like that. So that one, I got that one from. No, it's not a steelbook. It's kind of like a booklet with the discs in there, but it's 4K, the trilogy. Somebody got me that and the Andrew Garfield 4K, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Didn't they all come out together? Wasn't it like
I think they did. Let me show
like
you.
Give me 1 pack or something.
Yeah,
that's fine. You can go.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's see if anybody is saying anything in the chat. David's Horror says, "Great questions, mid-level." Yeah, they were kind of a little basic, but I wanted to take it a little bit easy on AJ for tonight. David's Horror says, great answers, AJ. Great answers. So what do you got there? Yeah, I remember that.
And it's kind of like you open it up.
That's nice. I don't even have all the Raimi ones in physical media. I used to have them all on DVD, but I got rid of my DVDs.
Yeah. So it's got the Blu-rays and the 4Ks in there. Pretty dope.
Since we're on the Spider-Man train, what's your can you rank all the Spider-Man movies for me real quick?
I have them all ranked on my Letterbox with my latest, because they fluctuate all the time.
There's like 8 of them, right?
There is 8 of them.
If you count Spider-Verse?
Yes. And I have it on my Letterbox, and then I have this one too. This is the Andrew Garfield. I won't go through that one, but it's the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 on 4K and Blu-ray.
Bam.
Let's see. Spider-Man ranked. Number 1, I would say the first Spider-Man. Number 2, Into the Spider-Verse. Number 3.
So you're talking about the Tobey Maguire first one?
Yeah. Number 1, okay. 2002 Spider-Man for number 1. Into the Spider-Verse, number 2. Spider-Man 2, number 3. Far From Home, number 4.
Like it.
Homecoming, number 5. Amazing Spider-Man 2, number 6. Spider-Man 3, number 7. And Amazing Spider-Man 1 as number 8.
I feel I have the exact same number 8. I hate the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
It wasn't.
I don't like it at all.
It wasn't.
I actually enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty fun.
A lot more fun than the first one.
Our rankings aren't exactly the same, but they're close. I would put Spider-Verse is number 1.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock was like my favorite superhero movie for like 10 years.
Oh, really? So that's number 2?
So like the MCU really started going. Yeah, that's number 2. And then I would probably put Spider-Man 1 at number 3.
Okay.
And then I would go, am I leaving anything out? I don't like the Amazing Spider-Man movies that much. I'll go Far From Home at number 4. I'll go Far From Home at number 4. I'll go Homecoming at number 5. I'll go Amazing Spider-Man 2 at number. No, I'll go Spider-Man 3 at number 6. I'll go Amazing Spider-Man 2 at number 7, and I'll go the first one at 8.
Okay.
So I think Spider-Man 3's got good parts that was brought down by just too many villains and Venom. Topher Grace's Venom is not good.
It's not. Neither is Tom Hardy's, actually. But yeah, I would actually prefer Topher Grace's. I would actually prefer Topher Grace's over Tom Hardy's, but I don't necessarily like either.
I thought Venom looked like a piece of shit movie. The trailer sucked. I hated it. I thought I was gonna very much dislike it, and I had fun with it. So
I was the opposite.
Yeah, it's that whole line, the turd in the wind. Like, why would you even put that in a trailer? It's so silly and stupid. But like in context of the movie, like it didn't come off as bad. Like in the movie, I didn't think it came off as bad, but the trailer was just silly.
See, I don't know. Favorite Dragon Ball Z fight? I would probably say Goku versus Frieza, or Vegeta and Goku versus Broly in the Super Broly movie. But I like a lot of the different fights. Dragon Ball Z, because Broly is technically super. I don't know. I won't take too long on that because I know Ken's not into it. But
I agree with everything AJ just said.
I won't take too long on that, but yeah, probably fine. Goku versus Frieza. That's where
now I know how you feel when we were going super deep into like obscure horror from the 70s giallo films.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, but
yeah, I'll check that out sometime.
Yeah, you're right about that. But yeah,
David's Horror says, curious what you didn't like about the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I just don't like Andrew Garfield as that character too much. To me, like he's not a good Peter Parker. He's too cool, I guess is what he's not nerdy enough.
You feel like he has to be nerdy?
A little bit. A little bit, a combination of cool and nerdy, I would say.
Um,
Which I think Tom Holland pulls off probably the best.
mhm,
Tobey Maguire is more just like pure nerdy. He's like all nerd.
I would agree.
So I don't know. It's hard for me to remember the first one. I just know I didn't like it that much as I saw it back in 2012.
That's another reason it's not memorable.
It's the lizard. Like,
yeah, very.
What kind of a villain is that?
Very dull. I think the reason why I don't care, I just recently watched it on a watch along, and the reason why I didn't care for it.
Doesn't the guy we were on the panel with yesterday, certain vids, like he loves it, right? Like that's his favorite movie of all time.
He loves the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 he enjoys a lot too. He hates Far From Home, but yeah, and Spider-Man 2 was his favorite like all summer last year, and he was like recently yeah, that movie is completely broken and it sucks. So I'm like, wow.
Far From Home was?
No, he said that about Spider-Man 2. And
yeah,
that was his favorite film.
That is so good, man.
It was good.
Every time I watch that movie, I get chills.
Same here.
And the train fight with Doc Ock, and he gets carried by all those people, and I can feel like the tears welling up now, like when they take his mask off, and the little boy walks up, and he's like, "I won't tell anybody." Yeah, and it's such a sweet moment. And the people standing over him,
he's just a kid, stuff like that. So yeah, Spider-Man 2 is great.
Danny Elfman's score in that movie is like top tier.
Good, so good. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, it just kind of was dull. I feel like the villain wasn't intriguing enough until like the very end. It was just like really slow paced, and we already knew the origin, so it was just like, why are you taking an hour for setup for a story that we already know? Like, it's just
we can pretty much thank with what we got with Tom Holland in Civil War to the Amazing Spider-Man. The fact that they didn't want to do that again, because I think they got some complaints that they're doing the same shit again like 5 years later.
Yeah, but my problem is with it was that it took so long for the setup. Tobey Maguire, we get the setup pretty early on, maybe like 20 minutes into it, but it took an hour and 15 minutes to get him in the actual suit in the first one, or in Amazing Spider-Man.
It wasn't Jamie Foxx. Dragon Ball Z's cat poop.
I can understand people not really liking Dragon Ball Z, honestly, because I've been rewatching it, and it's kind of tough to get through. Honestly,
I can't say it's cat poo. I
can't say it's cat
enough to say that.
I wouldn't say that, but
I just don't. It's not anime. Is just not something I've ever really felt the need to engage with. I don't know, but I will. I will eventually.
Gohan versus Cell was amazing too. I'm still got to get to that on my rewatch, but yeah.
Spider-Man 3 was too ambitious. It was. I still like the Sandman story though, and it's got so the same guy that's Danny Elfman scored the first two Spider-Man movies, and then I forget the guy's name, Christopher. But he scored it's the same guy that scored the Hellraiser movies. And that's a great score. That's a great horror score. So the same guy that scored the Hellraiser movies did the third one. I didn't even realize that until recently, because I was listening to the score from Spider-Man 3 because it's one of my favorites. And like a certain track sounds straight out of Hellraiser. And I'm like, this sounds very similar.
Wow.
And it turned out it's the same guy.
Sweet.
Mr. Dingo says, which is better, Fantastic Four early 2000s or the newer one? Early 2000s. Definitely.
Early 2000s.
The newer one was complete shit.
Yeah, it was not good.
I can have some fun with those older ones. David Torres says, I enjoyed the Tobey Maguire movies, but I prefer Tom Holland MC movies over the Raimi movies. I definitely don't agree with that. I do like I like two of them better than three, but I still like the first two Raimi movies over those.
Same.
Spider-Man 2 was the best Raimi film, but Holland is the best Spider-Man. I just have a lot of nostalgia for Tobey Maguire.
Same here. That nostalgia runs
I'm not going to argue
with
with anybody if they say that Tom Holland's their favorite Spider-Man, because he's great as Spider-Man. So I can't argue with anybody.
Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I will say I enjoy Tom Holland as Spider-Man. His movies per se, don't really connect with me the way I want them to, because he hasn't been given a true villain for himself. Everybody that he, fights is mad at Tony, and he's like kind of living under this mantle of,
and that's the biggest
Tony's
problem with the first one. It's like,
yeah,
he's living in the shadow of Iron Man, and even the second one. It's like he's trying to be the next Iron Man. It's like, that's not what I want in my Spider-Man movie.
Right.
Spider-Man is solo. He is a solo act protecting
friendly
New York
neighborhood
City by himself.
Yeah.
Like, that's his whole thing. He doesn't have help. And I know in the comics he does, but I'm not a big comic guy. I just remember the cartoon.
Yeah.
And he's the ultimate underdog, and he always comes out on top.
The 90s Spider-Man animated series was so good. I love it. I love it so much.
I mean, that's what I grew up on. Like, that's where all my comic book love comes from, is X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man, and Batman, the animated series, and the Tim Burton Batman movies. And that's where my origins for liking comic book stuff comes from. Like, I'm not a comic book guy. I love read the comic books. I don't care about the comic books. I don't give a shit if it's faithfully adapting it or not. I just want a good movie and a good story.
Yeah, and I feel that. I feel that. And the cartoons is where it's at, what I grew up on too. The Batman animated series is now on HBO Max. I've been watching that here and there.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
I need to watch it. Yeah.
And even the 90s Spider-Man and the X-Men, like the classic X-Men show, is on Disney Plus. So I love that they're coming back to streaming. And the classic X-Men series is actually getting a revamp, and new episodes are coming out for it. So, yeah,
that's awesome. I hadn't heard that before, but yeah, I wish I could get my son to watch some of those old classic cartoons. But when I go back and make him watch it, it's kind of like when my dad would try to make me go back and watch like old black and white TV sitcoms from his era. I guess that's equivalent to him, because he's just kind of, his eyes glaze over and he's like, "This, I don't know what this is."
Yeah.
But Christopher Young, thank you, David Tor. That's who he is, Christopher Young. Yeah. James Horner always stole from himself. Another great composer. That is Feige's fault. Spider-Man has an awesome rogues gallery. He does.
He does. I don't know why they don't want to utilize
the Spider-Man game. I know you played that, right?
Oh yeah,
because you're a big gamer.
Pretty much all.
I thought that was a great Spider-Man story. I loved the way they did what they did with Doc Ock in that movie and how they developed him and stuff. So, David's Horse says, "I'm a few years older than you, mid-level, but what you just said about X-Men, Batman, and Burton's Batman is where my love of comic heroes came from." Yep, that's. I've just always been. I used to be a big reader. I just never read comic books. I read the Star Wars novels a lot when I was a kid, and I read Stephen King, and I read Goosebumps when I was a little bit younger.
I have yet to read a Stephen King book. I read a little bit of The Outsider, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I can't read anymore. My focus is horrible these days. But I read a lot of Stephen King when I was like, I'd say between the age of like 10 and 20. I read It when I was like 11, and that was a lot for an 11-year-old brain to take in.
I actually have It, and it's so thick. It's like 1,000 pages or something like that.
1,200 pages.
Oh my!
But I used to read like crazy when I was younger.
Yeah,
it's I loved it. But Mr. Dingo said, thoughts on the show Samurai Jack?
It's awesome.
Awesome. David's Horse says that and the Justice League cartoons from when I was a kid. Yep.
Yo, y'all are bringing back so much nostalgia for me.
Bringing the nostalgia here tonight.
Yes.
But I think we're gonna wrap things up right now, AJ.
Okay.
Or I might get in trouble with the lady upstairs because she's trying to get the kids to bed. This is the longest stream that I've ever had on this channel,
bro. And
you had the pleasure of being here with me.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, so definitely gonna have to have you on. I want to do more of these type. It's like what I was telling you when you're like, we're getting together to do a stream. I was like, well, what are we gonna talk about? I was like, I just like talking about a bunch of different stuff.
Nothing,
and I like having cool
everything.
People like you on here to talk about it with.
Yeah, man.
So it's like I just kind of let the chat kind of dictate where we go, and it was super fun, super awesome. I loved having you on, man. You definitely have to come on again at some point. But yeah, trying to get some more guests and stuff on the channel and doing more of this type of stuff, because I love going to Target, Walmart, and Blu-ray hunting and talking about the latest physical media, but also just like talking about movies.
Yeah, hanging out.
That's why I do this. So
for sure, man.
David's Horror said, last books I read were the Dragon Girl Tattoo books and Ready Player One. I still need to read Ready Player One so I can read the second one.
I did read Ready Player One, and I enjoyed it. It was just a little heavy on the references. It was just like, we don't really need all the references that we got, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, from what I understand, it was like really heavy on the references, like way more than the movie was.
And it was just like for no reason. Just like, okay, come on, let's get on with the story a little.
Yeah, I got that. I tried to read it right before the movie came out, and I got like 100 pages in, and I just, like I said, I lose focus, and I just can't read anymore. I don't know.
I enjoyed the movie a lot more than the book.
Yeah. Stranger Boy's got one more question for us, and we'll end on this question. He said, do you prefer thriller or action movies? I would say that's super tough. Especially since thriller can mean so many different things.
I would say thriller for me. I enjoy action.
I love a lot of action movies.
I enjoy action, but I would say thriller definitely.
That's a tough one.
If you had to put on a thriller movie or an action movie right now, what would you put on?
Probably thriller. I'd say more. That's more my sensibilities nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up loving action movies. I still love action movies, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'll say thriller because thriller you can really get some good horror stuff out of it, and I'm a horror guy ultimately. The end of the day. Daniel Bemis says there was nothing out this week but that Steelbook of Judge Dredd, and I know it's completely awesome. Daniel, did you see it? Freaking great Steelbook. But yeah, he's right. There wasn't shit that came out this week.
They cocked and loaded.
David's Horror says by read I mean listen to the audiobook narrated by Will Wheaton. Do you get into doing the audiobook stuff?
I can't do audiobooks. I
know that would be a good way to do it, but I would feel like I was cheating.
Yeah, same here.
If I did an audiobook.
Same here.
That's not reading.
It's basically the same as watching something on TV, watching a show. Like, I mean, you're not really reading, but you're getting the story from it, but you're not really reading it.
It just feels like a cheat, and I don't like it. I don't like it. The Raid films I still need to see, actually. But yeah, with that, guys, we'll go ahead and end. AJ, I appreciate you coming on tonight. You got anything you want to plug before you get out in here? Your channel. I'll take myself out and I'll make you the whole screen because I know that's how the cool YouTubers do it.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on here. Once again, it's awesome talking to you and hanging out with you, man. I love this live stream and I loved the chats. Yeah, I'm AJ from AJREACTS2 and I react to all this stuff right here: movies, TV, music, gaming, and more. Snacks and taste testing and all that stuff. So if you're into that, come connect with me on my YouTube channel. And yeah, thanks for having me on again, man.
No problem, man. I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, connect with AJ on his YouTube channel for sure. And follow him on Instagram. I got all of those links down below. I even have your letterbox down below as well. So
yeah,
follow AJ and all the things. I didn't know if you had anything else. Those are the three that I knew you had, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't get on Twitter either. So those are the only three I have right now. Even though I've thought about starting up my TikTok again. But
yeah, you going to do TikTok, man?
It's not going to be any like funny dances. It's going to be like me holding my Blu-rays or something. Yeah, maybe
for real. There's a market for it on TikTok.
Yeah. So, yeah, appreciate everybody coming out today. As for myself, I've got some Mill Creek unboxings tomorrow because I got a shipment in from them. Their latest releases, that retro VHS slipcovers that came out this week. I'm going to be doing my Arrow video and Criterion collection video this week as well. Also going to be doing a surprise video on Saturday that's different from anything that I've ever done on this channel before. So definitely look out for that. And yeah, we'll be back next week for Ken's movie experience on Sunday to talk about the latest in movies and whatever the hell I decide to do. That'll be the stream. But again, AJ, I appreciate you coming out here tonight. Please subscribe to AJ, follow AJ on Instagram and Letterbox. Subscribe to me. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I don't think I told him to hit the like button like the entire stream, and I should have done that multiple times.
Smash hit that like button.
Smash it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications. Comment down below if you have any reactions to any of AJ's hot takes tonight. And we'll see you next time.
Later.